What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Alfalfa Podcast. What's up to the chat? GM.
I choose
Tom Knob.
GM.
I choose GM. I choose Rich every time.
What's
Steven,
up?
What do you choose?
What's up,
Poor?
guys?
It's a bold call.
Choosing poor. You know you can have both sides of that trade by just buying both meme coins.
I love the one that choose poor is Capo, right?
Yeah. That was a good one.
Did you buy that one?
No, I can't support anything Capo,
No?
even if it's anti-Capo.
Eric, have you bought a meme coin yet?
No.
Okay.
Which one should I buy?
Hold strong, buddy.
Which one should I buy?
You should buy Harry Potter, Sonic
Okay,
69. I don't even know.
the Tigger's Solana.
The Tigger's Solana.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that one.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's our new
Hey, what did I
dumb
buy?
one.
I bought a funny one.
Don't buy that. Don't buy that. That was a joke.
I'm gonna buy that.
I mean, I do own it.
I think that's a no-brainer.
Oh, you know what I couldn't help buying? We call them poor.
Oh,
Oh,
the
that's
Saylor?
incredible.
New meme.
Oh yeah, we gotta show that
Couldn't
video
help
later.
it. Couldn't help buying
We got
it.
that video in the queue, right?
Yes.
Oh, that was my favorite moment of the week.
Hello to the Alfalfa universe out there. Thank you for listening. Hello to the chat, live audience, live studio audience. Caesar's here. We got Jimmy on the buttons today. Jimmy GPT, excuse me.
Jimmy on the keys.
On the keys. And I'm excited to see you, Eric. Welcome back.
Thanks, guys. It's a new precedent we set where we do live in studio audience
Yes.
only.
Audience only.
After Denver.
Yeah, that was dope. We should be seeing that episode and that video pretty soon. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll
got
post that.
Bankless Alfalfa Pod.
We'll post that to our feed as well, but I think it's
Yeah.
going on Bankless's feed.
How was the trip?
It was awesome. Tulum, amazing. You guys have been there.
Did
It's
you join the Tuluminati?
it's such like a, this like heartbeat of Tulum is just like the same freaking jungle techno beat going on for the whole weekend. It's still going on in the back of my
But
mind.
did you go to the underworld? And
we
join the
went
Tuluminati?
deep.
Yeah.
We went deep.
I was really hoping he'd come back with like the hat.
The hat.
and, yeah,
I thought his
open
chest
white
would be out.
shirt,
Yeah, I
yeah.
totally thought I was going to see a bare chest today.
Are my eyes still dilated? Because I feel like I'm still there.
That's great. Any alpha, like Tulum alpha?
Oh, I have so much, but
Okay.
none of which I can share on the pod.
Okay.
This is
None of it.
really, really good stuff.
Okay,
Though.
save that for the Discord.
Yeah, maybe the
Discord teaser.
Well, awesome. We have a really fun episode. Let's dig into it. Before we do, quick shout out to our sponsor, Magic Spoon. Steven, turn your microphone off.
Sorry.
Magic Spoon, if you don't know, is one of our newest sponsors. It's a delicious cereal. It is the high protein, keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, wheat free, naturally flavored, totally delicious childlike cereal for grown-ups.
Full.
Yes, and I'm reading that right off the box, which makes it
Wow.
perfect for
Right
me
from
to
the heart.
explain to you exactly what it is, because it's literally all of your favorite classics, healthy, high protein. This one here, I believe, is peanut butter. It comes with like 14 grams of protein. Net carbs are super low, usually like 3 or 4 grams. So I actually had some this morning in particular because most days I fast. Today was a podcast day. As many of you noticed, I did fast last week and not eat before the podcast.
Nobody noticed that. Yeah,
So
don't
you got
worry.
hammered.
And so today I had Magic Spoon and a sandwich to make sure that 2.5 drinks don't make me go to the abyss
Base
by
layer.
the end of the episode. So thank you, Magic Spoon. You can get a discount off your order at magicspoon.com/alfalfa. Appreciate your support of our sponsors. Keeps the show going. Steven, tell me about Zbiotics.
Yes, and as always, we are also brought to you by Zbiotics, the probiotic you drink before you drink. One of the greatest inventions since the light bulb, really. maybe better than the light bulb. I don't know. It's pretty good. We take him every week before the pod, and then we wake up and function on a Thursday, and we do not go easy, as you saw last week with Armand. How was your Thursday?
That was fine.
You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally
Totally
just
fine.
needed food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Zbiotics, it breaks down this nasty byproduct of alcohol called acetaldehyde. That's the thing that makes you feel really crappy the next day. This is a custom formulation, not a white label thing. Founder is a gigabrain.
He is.
We had him on the pod a while back. So yeah, zbiotics.com/alfalfa. You get 15% off.
Yes, you do.
15% off. Help support the pod. Thank you guys
Yep, and
in
let us know what
advance.
you think of both. We love to make sure that you love our sponsors. So let us know. All right, awesome. Any other announcements? How
about our
We've got
NFTs?
some
Oh, yeah.
leaderboard and
We got a new leader in the
donations.
clubhouse. The Alfalfa NFTs. We got Rocket.eth coming in the number one slot last week.
Nice. Rocket.
So whoever you are, Rocket, congratulations. Our boy Zimvi still on the leaderboard, number 2.
Legend.
And then Lemon Cake, frequent leader, number 3. So thank you guys for supporting the pod via NFTs. You can find these at pods.media/alfalfa. Get a little commemorative picture there, the episode, and then you also get the whole recording of the episode as well. Pretty sweet. They're only available for a week, so they are limited edition things.
Yep.
So once the moment passes, you might not be able to get another episode.
Gone with the wind. Jimmy, if you don't mind, please drop a link to that in the chat and in the description for those listening. We also have our Streamlabs donations and our YouTube donations. Thank you to everybody who's been donating. I believe Rectum was one of the last week again. Shout out to Rectum. We love
From
you, bro.
the top rope,
Yeah.
as usual.
Appreciate it. Streamlabs.com/alfalfa pod. Alfalfa, I believe. It should be in the description. Amazing. So we're going money. We're going meaning. We've got some interesting life philosophy, meaning stuff to wrap up with, but we've got plenty of degeneracy and meme coining and choosing rich to talk about. So what's up first?
I mean, the meme coining is still at all-time high levels, and we saw the meme coining merge with another phenomenon this week. NFT Nick, who's been just bombarding the timeline with his ostentatious but not really videos that keep getting community noted.
I think people don't know. There's a lot to discuss with this guy. So this guy is just like posting Twitter videos.
I mean,
videos.
he has this face that makes you want to kill yourself the
Yeah.
second you see it.
Very punchable.
It's the most punchable face I've
It's
ever
a very
seen.
punchable face. And so there's that aspect of it. And there's the fact that it is so ridiculous that it's actually unclear, like, is this parody? Like, people aren't quite able to figure it out. And the best form of parody is when you don't quite know.
Oh, man, that
and I
punk
think that's
picture.
exactly what he is that people love the idea of like how ridiculous it is. It's just so ridiculous that people are getting behind it.
Yeah, so for people who haven't been following this because you're not in the crypto Twitter sphere, I mean, this guy has been posting these videos, basically like coming at you from my LA Lambo. And then the community
He was in a
notes is like,
Mazda.
this is a Mazda CR.
Yeah.
Coming at you from my private movie theater. And then the community notes is like, this is the community movie theater from this apartment building in Brooklyn. And
Marty had a hot take in the lounge today. He was like, he's probably just community noting himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's probably exactly
Brilliant.
what's happening. He's like, wait, it's been 20 minutes. I haven't been community noted. Probably just has somebody go in and do it.
I mean, I hated this guy so much when I saw the first video, but then like after like a few of them, I kind of respected the engagement farming. It's
Yeah.
it's just it's like
Oh, it's incredible.
it's very obvious.
Let's watch one of them. Let's
Do we
get
have
the
one?
audio and
Yeah,
throw
throw
one
it up.
on.
Is this the movie theater one?
Yeah, this one's good.
Yeah.
I like the first one, the boat. This
The
is who you're
boat's
trading against.
the boat's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, video. Come on, internet. Uh-oh.
Network problems.
We gotta.
Um,
We'll see if Jimmy can get that loaded. Oh, there it is.
Good morning, haters.
hopefully there's
Y'all trying to
audio.
Say that my chauffeur is an Uber driver? Y'all keep hating while I kick off my week screening Scarface from my private movie theater in my New York City pied-à-terre. Remember,
And he says that pied-à-terre like every other
All the
video too.
time.
He says it constantly. So it's just ridiculous.
He got fact checked by CoffeeZilla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So wait, what's his meme coin
His
called?
meme coin is sending. It's like let's check it. It's like a $25 million market
What's
cap.
the ticker? Is the
just
ticker
Rich
Nick
or
or
Nick.
just Rich?
It's
Nick, but the coin's called
It's called
I Choose Rich.
I Choose Rich.
I Choose Rich.
Yeah.
I know that.
Sending, man.
I know that Brad has been posting his P&Ls in the Discord for the last 24 hours, and I want to kill myself because I think he made like a 30x on this stupid thing.
I mean, I've become a bit of a chart master, That's a good looking chart.
You were buying this one?
I mean, so I actually fumbled this one a little bit. I originally bought it. I sold half on that first pump and then rebought as it was sending again. So I'm back in.
Nice.
I took profits on the first bit, but I'm like, damn, should have just. But that's what you do with these meme coins, you know. I've just been playing it like that. Take a quick 3x,
You're just
move
scalping,
on,
scalping
roll
them.
it into whiff. That's been my meme coin.
I'm trying to
choice.
tell myself that this whole thing here is not a top signal.
Okay, Steven.
This reminds
You're
me
literally
of
doing the exact same thing.
This reminds me of the yes, but I'm a professional. Did you guys remember the TikTok video from last bull run with like that like wife husband combo, and they're like, "Yeah, we travel the world day trading," and she's like, "Why don't you tell him what your strategy is, honey?" And he's like, "Oh, well, when a stock is going up, I buy it, and then when it goes higher, I sell it." And like
Yeah,
he wasn't
yeah.
he wasn't even joking, and then the wife's like nodding in the background, and we were like, it's probably not a top signal. This is probably totally normal. And yeah,
Like I
yeah,
said
top.
last episode, Steven, there's only like 5,000 people doing this, so don't worry about it.
I think the number is lower. I think it can't be more than like 15.
Well, you guys converted Nick's
I mean,
entire
you can look at the
office.
transactions on Deck Screener. There's really not that many people.
I mean, I came into the office today and I saw Adrian. You know, he had his laptop open,
Yeah,
and
he's-
just like this wall, it just had
But Adrian has proximity.
dozens of like just.
Adrian
it was
has
just a
proximity
grave
to us
yard.
and the podcast, so I know like he can't be seen as a signal.
Nick and Chris are in China, and you got the whole office
Yeah.
just doing this now.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's just amazing to me
I
that
blame Jimmy.
like this office like has thrown out like incredible calls, like you know, like Coinbase is up like 700%. You know, the Bitcoin miner trade, all sorts of like really sweet and like Adrian didn't jump in any of that, but he did jump in to buy like naked goat or some shit. Like
Yeah.
just
He keeps buying really random stuff, like Willie the Whale. He'll like just walk into my office and be like, "Hey man, what do you think of Moo the Bull?" I'm like,
Moo the Bull was a good one.
I'm just
though.
throwing randoms. I don't even know which ones he said. I'm just.
I don't
looking
think
at
he bought
screen
Moo
right
the
now.
Bull,
No, I don't think he did.
unfortunately.
But I think he bought Willie
is
the
Moo
Whale.
the Bull doing?
I think he bought Willie the Whale.
Is Moo still
Oh, I
crushing?
bought Portnoy today.
Portnoy?
Yeah,
Oh,
couldn't
well,
help it.
you know.
Couldn't help it.
That feels like a zero, but I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you
it's
got
probably
up there,
zero.
Jimmy?
This is Moo.
Oh, it's Moo. Well, that looks pretty good. It's a good looking chart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Solana has become a casino made up of memes, and people are trading them and making life-changing money. Most people are losing their money. Most people are making small bets. Some people, when you look at the transactions, are making enormous bets. Are those bots? Who are those people? Who are these people that are really profiting like that level? Like
I
some
mean,
people are
there's
coming
gotta
into
be
these and
some
doing tens
savants
of
in here.
thousands.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I'm sure there are people
Are
with
they close
with
to
bots.
the network? Are they close to the coin? Is this all just pump and dumps, like left and right, where they were close to the developers? Here's what's coming.
all of the above.
All of
Okay,
the
so
above.
what about
yeah.
this? Like, if I saw some tweet that said that 48 of the top 50 meme coins are all on Solana. If they're all on Solana, then how about just owning the casino? Jupiter?
Jupiter.
Okay, I know you want to discuss that. You didn't say you wanted to, but you were talking about it before the pod.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to hear it.
I don't own any, but
I
I'm
like
just
it.
thinking like I don't have the capacity to meme coin with you guys. It's like too much attention grabbing for like too little money.
Yeah,
But I think like if you want to just like put money into something and let it go, maybe Jupiter's the one if this meme coining continues.
Jupiter was such a left curve buy because you're just like all these people are coming in and then they're interacting with what are they interacting with? They're interacting with Jupiter to buy all the coins. And
you
they're
remember
like,
what
oh,
I
should buy
said to you
Jupiter.
the other day too when I started buying meme coins. I was like, this is the first platform I've used that I like.
It's a good platform.
It's a good platform.
I'm in
Like, it
agreement with you.
actually, I can swap, I can set orders, I can DCA, I can bridge. There's a beta feature that just came out I need to look at. Like
They have perps too.
perps. Yeah, that's what the beta feature was. So it's like, I don't know. It's a good platform. I agree with you, Eric, but I do wonder if actually there is a very high reward waiting within the meme coins that might get overlooked by everything is a trade-off.
I'm certain
So,
of it. Yeah,
you
just
know,
like
are
gotta-
you better off buying dog with hat or Jupiter?
Good question. I would ask you guys, the
I mean, I don't know.
shitcoin
I'm 3
extraordinaires.
days. I'm 4 days into meme coining. Like,
I mean, Jupiter's kind of in like the picks and shovels category, and then the
Yeah.
whiff is kind of in like the index of all the.
If you're gonna
the
pick
memes
one
category.
Solana meme coin, is it Whiff or was it like Bonk, the original? Like which one are you choosing?
Oh, it's
for-
whiff. It's not bonk.
It's Whiff.
It's a good question as to whether like you're gonna get a better return in one of the. There's some pretty hot kind of mid caps like Popcat. You know, it's like a good argument to be made that those out return whiff. But as you as you go down, it's like you have like one or two meme coins that are like, okay, I won't lose all my money, and then it just falls off a cliff like very
Yeah.
quickly, where your risk of complete ruin is actually quite high. Like, it's not like a linear thing. It's like whoop.
yep,
So I don't know.
I think so.
I'm a whiff enjoyer. I'm a jupe enjoyer.
Yeah.
There's also just not that much to buy on Solana. Like, what else do you buy?
Right.
You could buy Orca, I guess, but that's not as cool as Jupe.
I think don't
you know?
sleep on Solana either. You know, there's a lot of distraction. A lot of people are going to end up sort of swapping a lot of their actual Solana bag for these meme coins, and I think they're going to regret it. So I do think like it's all fun, and you can definitely make some good money, some good returns. But at the end of the day, the sure thing in this cycle, in my opinion, based on all the indicators we have, is Solana more than Ethereum. Sorry to say. Like right now,
Yeah,
the
Solana's
signals
fucking
point
dominating.
toward like this is like there was a great tweet I was looking at earlier as well by I can look it up. I bookmarked it, but the BTC Solana trade looks really interesting as well. So I don't know. I think there's an escalator, right? It's like you start with these really shitty shits, you work your way up to something like Whiff. I've been cycling into that, but I think you can also look at like, you know, how far can you swing that? Maybe toward the top, you then start to cycle into Solana, and then at that point, maybe if you really want to exit a portion of your bag, I think you could exit to stables or whatever you decide to do. But based on what I see so far, that's my general trajectory of my approach to this. But that's as if this is the only meta that we'll see in this entire bull market. It won't be. This is just the first game of many, in my opinion, that we'll see. You know,
Of course. I
Why,
agree with that.
why stop at Solana though? Like, why is Solana a sure thing?
it is for now. And to Ethereum's credit, we had meme coins on Ethereum months ago. You know, last year. So like that's a real thing.
But if you think Solana is a sure thing, why don't you just buy Dog with Hat?
Yeah, but I think eventually, like, it will crash a lot harder than Solana does.
Right, but like everybody,
what I was
we
trying to
all
describe.
think Solana is going to crash. We all think everything's going to crash. So if you think everything's going to crash and your plan is to just sort of sell the top anyway, why not just buy the thing that goes up?
Bitcoin and Ethereum crashing 80% are over. I think we might be past that.
But Solana's going to crash 80%.
I think yeah, Solana will.
So why not just buy the thing that goes up even more than Solana if Solana
Until you
succeeds, right?
eventually have to exit if you want to not watch your portfolio go down 90%.
Yeah, I'm just like finding it. Like once I get to outside of like Bitcoin and ETH, and I'm just like, I don't want to hold this shit for like 10 years. Like part of me is just like, well, why don't I just buy the thing that's just going to go up the most?
But can
Yeah.
you even apply that though? Because like it was a month ago or so that we were talking about Bonk being that, and now
Right.
now Bonk is what gone.
But
from
Bonk
our-
is still that. It's still going to outperform Solana by a lot.
Is it? Because it seems like it's just gone now, and we moved on to Whiff.
Bonk was up 18% today, and Solana was up 6%. You know, it's like it's definitely still like high beta Solana. The
Still
question is
bonking.
like whether Whiff is like a higher beta trade, which I think it is. And I think Bonk bleeds versus Whiff, and I think it's so hilarious that these are the conversations we have these days.
It's so ridiculous.
As I say this out loud, I'm like, do you want to buy the dog with the hat or the Bonk
This
dog?
industry has finally embraced its true nature.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes.
Like, put all the fuckery aside. Like, this is what brings the masses in. And, like, I don't know. I think there are very serious people working in crypto that I don't want to disrespect. However, I hope they understand that their efforts ultimately lead to things like this, which create the use cases that pull in people Gaming is one of those, right? That's the same thing. Like gaming is not such a serious thing. It's literally entertainment. Your protocols and your technology are enabling gaming in the same way they're enabling this quote unquote casino.
One day. I don't think there's
You
any
know?
good games on a blockchain.
Can
Yeah,
we
I mean-
slightly shift topics, but something I think is like an important and adjacent to this, because today Denkun went live, right?
Cheaper
And
fees on L2s, baby.
super huge Ethereum update. We have blobs now. I saw like base fees went from like 50 cents a transaction to like a penny. The base layer didn't change, but like I think that was supposed to happen.
Right.
But yeah, we've basically slashed a lot of L2 fees. Do you what's funny is that like if you look at the charts today, ETH I think was down, OP was not really moving, Solana up 7%, WIF up 28%. Pretty standard stuff on these Ethereum events. I feel like. Do you feel like any of this like kind of meme culture ever moves to the ETH L2s? Is it just perma? It's just like a perma Solana thing at this point?
No, I think it was
Do you own anything on L2?
I actually sold my OP for Solana and meme coins.
All right, so you not only don't own a meme on L2, you don't even own
No,
an L2.
I got rid of it all.
Here's something I saw actually that's related to this. So I was watching Adrian Shitcoin before you guys came in, and he was doing all Solana stuff. And then I recommended something from the Discord that you brought up or somebody brought up, and he starts to trade it, and his MetaMask asks him to do an approval first, and just that friction alone, he was like, "What? I got to approve? I got to approve something?"
Well, approval costs money too.
Right. There's gas fees and then this approval thing. It's like there are layers of friction that might stop people from shitcoining on.
It's mostly the
L2s.
cost and the speed. The speed is so good with Solana, and people are like, "Oh, failed transactions." Like, sure, but I can do a transaction in 2 seconds, start to finish. I can literally just like be in between a meeting and trade a shitcoin. I could never do that on ETH. It's too difficult and too expensive. That said, I did buy 2 Ethereum shitcoins this week. I bought Zin and I bought MAGA, Trump. So I feel good about that. It doesn't mean it's going to stop me completely from buying ones that I want. But back to your question, it's like, no, I don't think it's said and done that Solana is just going to have it in the bag. I think the L2s do have an opportunity. But there's a problem. Ethereum culture doesn't really work with what's happening here.
It's not as degen.
It's not as DJ.
I think there's something.
I mean, some of it is obviously like
pretty degen.
Zin is on. Zin is on.
Like, we had like the whole NFT boom last year on ETH. That's pretty degen.
Dude, I think it's like
OG,
it's a
like
human,
kind of meme coin thing.
It's a human behavior thing. It's not like a blockchain specific thing.
That's true.
And I think meme coins on base are gonna fucking explode.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a permissionless network. Like new networks build themselves up and create their own culture under any protocol. So that's totally possible.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
I'd argue back
we're still
against
so
myself.
early in this. Like, I feel like Coinbase hasn't even really pushed base yet,
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
and they didn't create that whole thing to just let it sit there and like hope it.
I mean,
gets
I would
used.
imagine that what we're seeing is actually just a sort of preview to the frenzy that will occur on base, because they have the audience, they have the customers. Solana doesn't really have the customers to the degree, at least, that Coinbase has. So I think it'd be huge. It can be huge.
Yeah.
Speaking of we've been talking a lot lately about just like, okay, when to sell, why to sell, what to do when you sell. It's been coming up a lot on the pod and coming up a lot on the Discord. So I shared this in the Discord. This is Altcoin Psycho. I'm getting DMs about my exit plan, so here it is. Disclaimer, it's not exciting. Each time I think the top is in, I sell 1/3 of my stack. The first sell may be too early. The third sell is often too late, but that second sell tends to be perfect. So he's DCing the selling, and also like making sure that he doesn't mistime it by taking the shot early, just like you do when you want to get in. Take the shot early when you have conviction, and then take the shot when you want to get out. But he's like, I've tried it all, and this tends to be my best performer. Yeah, I think it's a really simple way to just make sure you don't F it up. What do you think about that, Steven?
I think this is an interesting tweet because this kind of mirrors how I feel about trades that I take. Like I've noticed when I first started trading, I had a tendency to get into trades too early. Like I wouldn't let the setup develop, and inevitably the market would sort of move against my position. And then I sort of developed like a strategy where I would be like, okay, instead of on the first trade just going all in, I will go in for like 30% of my size. That way, if it goes up, like if I'm trying to go long, well, like I'm sort of upset that, I don't have all of my size in, but also it's just going up and it's like, okay, well, whatever. Like I'm just making money.
But you're not doing that and setting it as a DCA. You're watching what happens, right?
But
so
it's
if you
a
put in 30%,
it's a similar principle.
it's very active. You have to watch. Like, does this go down? Does this go up?
No.
Does
This
that
is
change anything?
this is the exact same principle. There's like a kind of like deep psychological truth here, which is that like our first impulse is often sort of correct, but early, like if our strategy is sort of sound. And then the second, like I've often found that like the second trade for me, like when I put that next bullet in, is often like way higher hit rate than the first one. There's something about it. Like,
but isn't it
it's like a
nice to
funny
have
thing.
that third one as like I'm closing this with no regrets.
Yeah, like the third for me is like, oh, like it's moving in my favor. I'm going to add here, right? Like if I'm going long, but it's a similar thing if you're selling a top. It's like, okay, it's definitely going down, so I'm going to take the rest off and kind of walk away. So I actually really like it as like a simple to digest heuristic for people. And it allows people to sell something. Like the biggest mistake people make is selling like nothing.
Yeah.
You get so caught up in it that you don't sell anything.
I'm curious if you have a framework, EJ, but I'm also always a little bit apprehensive about what to sell to. And that's
I think
a question that keeps coming up.
It really applies more when you're talking about the stuff that we were just talking about, this like crap that you don't even really believe in. But like, like Michael Saylor is going to become one of the richest people on earth, and he's probably never sold. Has he sold? Maybe like a little bit, but he's only adding, and he's only adding to the good stuff. I feel like Kobe's doing that same game. They're not playing meme coin.
I feel like Kobe definitely sells.
He probably has sold, but he's probably held a lot more than he sold. So I'm a believer that like you just own the best stuff. You can go really hard in them.
But just to dig in a little bit, like I think people that don't sell are selling because they've accumulated enough wealth. They have an asset in the form, in Saylor's version, in the form of a store of value that he believes is the best store of value that ever existed on planet Earth. So he has no reason to. Kobe has no reason to because he has too much. He doesn't need to make more. So like what he admitted in his tweet recently as well was that while I don't judge the way people crypto, this isn't for me, right?
Yeah.
We got to talk about that, actually. I'm going to pivot to that in a second. Your talk with Ledger tomorrow or this week. But he admitted that, like, look, this is probably one of the last ways to 100x your wealth, to get wealthy. So, like, I think that was the most important part of what he said, his acknowledgement of the fact that, like, I think he could have acknowledged that even deeper. It's like, hey, man, you did it. Like, you've done it. There are many people new to this game that are aiming to accomplish what you did and create generational wealth for themselves. So let's actually not judge the game we play, because in hindsight, it's all the same shit. Your version of it, my version of it might have been NFTs. Your version of it might have been ICOs. Your version of it might have been buying Bitcoin in 2012, 2013. But it's kind of all the same. It's just different flavors for different generations. That's my take on that. That's my perspective. And I think that's the fair way to.
I think you're right, and I think it goes like underrepresented that like everybody has their own agenda and a different objective based on like where they are, in like the wealth accumulation versus preservation phases, and it's not really talked about enough. But like, I think when people get to like come to me, financial advisory, they have money, like they have money and they want to protect that money. And it's a completely different game than like, I got to make it,
It's true. Yeah. Just to close off on main points, do you think this cycle is one of the last to really hit it for people?
To make it,
Yeah, to not live, to not ever be able to afford things in life, and
like people,
kind of like
okay, people keep saying that, and I just think the market keeps creating new opportunities for the people who didn't get rich, right? Like people bought Bitcoin.
yeah, but if they
And-
only hold fiat, they're going to be pores. So they need to buy assets, and I think this might be one of the last opportunities to buy a great asset.
But you listen to what I'm saying. Initially, people bought Bitcoin and they were early and they got super rich, and then people couldn't get mega rich buying Bitcoin anymore. And then the market created Ethereum, and then people bought Ethereum and got mega rich. And now you can't really buy Ethereum and get mega rich anymore. You can buy Ethereum and get like substantially wealthier, but that's not enough for people. Like you're not going to do a 50 to 100x, right? But then the market created like altcoins, and people bought stuff like Chainlink and got mega rich buying Chainlink and all these altcoins, right? And then eventually maybe that wears out. But then the market created something weird. Like it created like Dogecoin. And then people bought a meme. And then like memes became a thing. And people actually bought memes and became multimillionaires, did huge multiples, right? So I think that as people buy into the new meta, they discover it, and then that thing makes people rich, and they get fat and happy. Eventually, the desire for so many people to get rich is like a powerful incentive for the market to create some new vehicle that a future like group can kind of like ape into early, discover, and get rich off of. And I just don't buy the idea that, oh, this is the quote unquote last cycle. Like I think like you're just gonna
Let me
keep getting new
restate it
opportunities.
with a little bit more nuance. I think this is the last cycle potentially where you can buy the premium assets in crypto with the best risk reward, lowest risk, and still become wealthy as a result of owning those assets. Basically, namely Bitcoin and Ethereum.
But that's not true, because that's backward looking. Like in retrospect, it was like obvious you could get rich last cycle buying Ethereum. But at the start of the cycle, people thought Ethereum was going to zero. Like that actually wasn't obvious. Like you have to see something that the market doesn't see as a thing yet, believe in it, and shove your chips in on that thing when everybody else is telling you it's going to go to zero. Like Solana was basically the thing this cycle, right? You could have bought Solana at like $8. Like if you believe that, the market didn't believe that. That's why it was like kind of in the toilet. And now Solana is going to make a lot of people like fabulously wealthy. They'll probably do like 100x or more on it, right? Like that's a really, really good return for something that's like now considered like a large, safe within the crypto realm asset. And
Right.
there's going to be something else like that.
But don't you think like we can expand our perspectives even wider and like look beyond crypto? Like crypto right now represents this like high return vehicle, but like after crypto, there's going to be some other bull market that exists as well. Like we've had bull markets prior to crypto's existence, and we'll have bull markets after that. This is not like the last time to make money.
Yeah, agreed. It's not. So your argument is essentially like even if this might be even if that version of that person's argument I'm describing was correct, there's other vehicles, the's other mediums.
This might be
that
like the
pop
last time to make generational wealth in crypto in an easy way, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But then, what do we innovate next? What do
Yeah.
we just bull market into next?
You guys saw Michael Saylor's interviews the last couple days?
I saw the clips.
clips, yeah.
The clips were quite
Yeah.
good.
It was quite good.
So good.
I just have to say, it was very arousing listening to him talking about, $100 trillion store of value.
He makes
and-
me want to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
does.
I own
He's
Bitcoin,
so
but
good
he makes
at
me want to buy more Bitcoin.
He's so good at it.
He's good at what he
and
does.
Eating gold, and he's really smart, and he's got this like character. Someone's tweet was like, Michael Saylor always just talks or seems like he's on the perfect amount of cocaine. Let's watch with audio this, this clip that went pretty viral.
This is the new one.
Yeah.
New Sailor just dropped.
Because they expect
Well, because
that
they
it's
want
gonna
to
become
sell it
more
eventually,
desirable.
Michael. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the people who are, yes, sure, some people pass it on to their children, but like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit. So
let me say it a different way.
Okay.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, there's a name for them. We call them poor.
Dude, he's back, but not that he ever left. Like, he was there when Bitcoin was at the bottom and still talking about
Yeah, we did an episode on like, can he mathematically get liquidated? It
Yeah.
was like pretty dark. The
Yeah.
answer was apparently no, by the way.
Yeah.
But,
And
like, people-
and apparently he's up 600% since then.
God, MSTR stock.
He bought
Yeah.
he bought another 800 million the other day, like 70K or something. He just like doesn't care what the price is.
No.
He's like, don't care what the price is, market buy.
Yeah, I think we should do another deep dive on MSTR, maybe on Irresponsibly Long or maybe here, but I think it's
I
warranted.
would tune into that episode on Irresponsibly Long for
Yeah.
sure. I would like that deep dive. I think it's important. All right. Let's scratch that.
Why don't we have an Ethereum Michael Saylor, by the way? We need an Ethereum Michael Saylor.
This is what I'm saying about the ecosystem
Like-
sometimes. Like Solana has, Rich Nick. Bitcoin has Michael Saylor.
Wait, Solana has rich. They do.
What do you mean?
Wait, why does Solana have him?
What do you mean?
He's still .eth.
Yeah, you can't. When I ask you a question, you can't just go, "What do you mean?"
No, I literally have no idea why you're confused right now, bro.
Why are you confused?
Because there's a Solana meme for this guy.
So you're saying because somebody made a Nick.eth meme on Solana that Solana has?
Oh my God, you're doing this thing where you're like stuck in the tiniest
I'm
level
getting baited
Well,
right
his
now.
name is .eth.
Okay,
I'm not taking
fine.
the beat.
I'm
bait. Yeah,
fine.
Nick
He's an
belongs
NFT
to
guy.
Ethereum. Thank you very much.
Okay, so then there you go. There's your ETH guy. You answered your own question. You
I
can
know. I
take
said
him.
we need a Michael Saylor of ETH, not like an Andrew Tate.
All right. Anyway,
If ETH had one, even like half Michael Saylor, like if Michael Saylor did what he was doing right now on Bitcoin on ETH would be like 30K. It would be like a joke. Like just market buying the shit like
Yeah.
day in and day out, and going on TV and calling everybody poor. Just
if you're saying
sound
it
bites
doesn't
everywhere.
have like an intelligent, extremely wealthy, institutional kind of guy,
just need,
corporate-
like,
yeah, we just have an alien autist with a suspiciously large bulge in his pants.
Yeah, it needs
That's
to be
all
like
we have.
bankless guys get way richer because right now, like bankless is trying to be that, I think, but they're just not rich enough.
I love David, but he's never going to be Michael Saylor. Like you can't be that like type. He just gets something special.
It's different. I think what you're describing is like it would be the equivalent of like if a corporation like MicroStrategy decided that this was the best asset for them to own on their balance sheet, and then went around on CNBC and Bloomberg, and that's all they wanted to talk about and prove it. I don't know what that would be. It'd be like if Elon did it.
Or like Alex
But Elon,
Ohanian or something.
like Doge has Elon. You know?
Yes, Doge has Elon. Good bull case for Doge.
It is very good.
is
It's a
Doge the
very
one that I
good
should
piece.
just own and never look at?
I mean, I think Doge has crossed the chasm to.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh!
Did you like
no.
that? Did you get a
Oh, why is you-
little something in your pants there?
Yeah, I sure did. Little tingle.
Yeah, I think it's an asset class. I think it's a legitimate asset class.
Gave
that
me such
people
a hard time
need
for
exposure
saying
to.
that.
And
I heard that part. I heard that part
although
last
like
week.
Elon isn't saying any Doge things yet, and he is posting a lot of
If
Pepe memes.
If
So
Elon promoted Doge as much as Michael Saylor promoted Bitcoin, Doge would be by far the biggest asset in the world. Stamp it, seal it, send it.
Doge is the
Guaranteed.
biggest asset in the world. Would be a hilarious and
doesn't
appropriate
pump it.
outcome for humanity
He's
at this point.
cryptic about it. He does it like once every 6 months. Michael
he's
Saylor
probably,
does this
he's
as a
probably
full-time
just still
job.
accumulating.
He's waiting. He's waiting for the pop.
He's like right now he's mad. He's like, this price just keeps going up, and I'm trying to accumulate more Doge.
I don't know why he doesn't put Tesla fully behind it. Like, it just makes sense.
Every
he
Tesla
believes
should
in
just come with a
entertainment.
giant sheep on the side door.
It should come as a color where you can get like the
Oh my
Shiba
god, they should do
as a
Cybertruck
wrap.
Doge edition. It would be
Yeah.
like so sick.
The whole thing would just explode. The brand would explode.
number one prediction this cycle: Elon launches Cybertruck Doge edition.
Yeah.
Stamp it.
I think like I don't know why Elon, for all the things he does, he doesn't get behind Doge more. I really,
He will. He's biding his time. He'll be there for us.
All right. I hope so. All
What's
right,
what we got next here?
what do we have
is
here?
this the NFT convo?
Tell us about it, Steven.
All right. Ethereum NFTs are getting slaughtered. Bored apes are basically dead, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're below 15
Pudgies
ETH.
have flipped them, I believe, but everything's down. Apes, I like saw this screenshot on Twitter. Apes down 38%, Pudgies down 35%, Moonbirds somehow only 38%. I don't know how those things aren't zero.
Yeah.
Sappy Seals, I don't know who owns those. God bless you. Everything's down like 30 some odd percent. Even punks have been selling off pretty good.
Punks are back into the 40s.
Even though somebody bought the Alien for 15 mil or something.
Just literally a week and a half, 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
and then the market just immediately sold off. So it's not looking too good in Ethereum NFT land. I feel like you're the NFT connoisseur of the group.
No way.
Yeah. So
No way.
What is the
I have
the
no
Shah
idea. I
think
have
of,
no crystal ball for this. But
Well, you're a mutant.
I mean,
you're a mutant. Well, you're a community member now.
Yeah.
Like, you're officially a mutant
You're-
community member.
I mean, like, I could be completely wrong. But I think what's going to happen is there will still be this is what happens, and I think these are buying opportunities. Like, I believe that
Even for Bored Apes,
yeah,
the Ed Hardy of NFTs.
for sure. Ed Hardy is a good way to put it.
Fucking great.
It's such an Ed Hardy. Yeah, I think that it actually represents something very significant for its time. It really does. And I think that it's an important internet relic. It's a collectible. And I think DC Investor talks about this a lot. I brought him up a lot on the pod, but I will again, because it's like the two types of NFTs that will send in this cycle, and they absolutely will send, are the collectibles, which are like these types of pieces like punks and apes and curio cards and things like that I've mentioned, that are like relics and important collectibles, and then art, things that are like actually cool and important, that are limited and interesting and have like some really cool person behind them. But beyond that, I think the rest of these will probably, yes, go to zero. So the question then that's being asked by the market is, will NFTs as a whole come back? And I think what people are starting to bet on is that, no, I should sell off all my NFTs and move into meme coins. That's where I get the higher beta right now. That's the new meta. That's correct. But I think it would be foolish to not think that some of these NFTs, if you have the correct ones, will cycle back like they did before. They have withstood the test of time. They have gone through multiple cycles. The last cycle was not the only NFT cycle.
It wasn't?
No, because punks came out before that. So
No, punks came out in the bear market before last cycle.
yeah, and they had their time. So
Well, to be fair, the punk's floor is still like nearly $250,000 in USD terms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, is
Very-
it dead? Because I'm actually asking you guys, because I'm in talks with Punk's OTC about acquiring a Punk right now.
I mean, this is where it takes insane levels of conviction. Like, I don't think I could do it.
It's hard. It's hard because
very
like
hard.
the floor keeps
But
fucking
this
dropping.
is when you do it if you want to maximize those returns.
So
Like,
let me-
This is when you accumulate.
Let me ask you if this thesis sounds right to you or if this is stupid. But my thesis on this is that it's like a human behavior deep inside all of us that we want to flash our status on others, right? I don't really care about this personally, but I acknowledge it sort of generally.
Right.
And I think that when you can do that with like an Hermes bag or a Lamborghini or something, like we didn't have that ability on the internet, but now CryptoPunks exist. And I think I want to own that because I think people will want to flash on others.
We asked the question earlier, what do people do with their meme coin profits?
What do they do?
What better?
Flash on others.
Flash.
But then I guess
The game comes back for that reason, in my opinion. Now, again, I'm like flipping my coin
Yeah.
by saying that.
We
That's
have-
just
we
my
have a
belief.
sample
I
size
have
of
no
one,
fucking idea.
You know? We have a sample size of 1 on NFT cycle. So
right, it's
maybe
impossible to tell.
Maybe it won't. But like I agree with you though. Like people want to flex.
I think a lot of money is going to be made.
They
in
just
this
don't want
cycle.
to. They don't want to flex like a seal.
Right. You
Yeah.
want like,
Yeah.
and this is what I was thinking too. The thing that I buy has to be expensive as fuck for that like flex utility to exist. It has to be like the most expensive one. And that's what
Right.
makes it fucking hard too, because it's like you got to buy that.
Well, some people like to flex, but some people like to be underground collectors, you know, and that's another market.
Totally.
I just want to collect this thing because I know I'm storing my value in this thing.
Yeah.
Like DC Investor has a huge portion of his wealth in NFTs.
Yeah, like
And
AI
like depending
generated
on
stuff.
how ETH is doing versus NFTs, sometimes his NFTs are the more valuable part of his wealth and sometimes ETH is. But that is the same thing. Like he believes that that's an important place for him to store wealth for 10 plus year time horizon. He's not thinking about, oh, is it going to do well this cycle? So that takes a lot of conviction.
Oh wait, hold on.
Jimmy just pulled up a iconic NFT
Iconic
tweet from the
pasta?
last. Well, this became a pasta for sure. I don't know if this is the OG one.
I don't think it is.
The people from last cycle will remember this. This is who's this from? I can't even see.
Yieldosaurus.
Oh, Yieldosaurus. If you are rocking a PFP under 100K, please don't at me or share your opinion on my wall. I don't care what you have to say. Reality is you need to work harder, move out of your mom's basement, stack ETH Soul, buy a few real PFP, then share your opinion. And he's holding a...
A bored ape.
ooh, is that a board ape or a mutant ape?
It's a mutant.
Oh, it's
God,
a
he's got a
mutant.
mutant.
ape.
So
God.
this guy's
These-
profile pic is now like
Rich
6K.
Nick is not the first.
Poor guy.
The first of his kind. at
Legend.
all.
Wow.
Legend. There's like a grain of truth in this, but this is like, you know, people with mutants trying to be like NFT whales. Eric,
unfortunately, there
by
are
the
a
way,
lot
I
of those
think you
people.
should buy your punk.
Yeah.
I think you should do it. I think that, yeah, it could go like lower for sure. It could go to, I don't think punks go to zero. Like if you believe in Ethereum and you have an opportunity to buy a punk, I feel like in 5 or 10 years you'll be sad that you
What are
don't
they
have
at?
like a punk to go with your
It's like
40?
50 ETH right now, 49.
ETH's
Yeah.
going to make a lot of people very, very, very. I mean, it already has a lot of very, very rich people. Those people wants to flex. More people will get rich. Like if ETH does end up going to 20, 30, 40,000, we have $1 million validators, right? I think that will someday be a thing. Those people will want to flex.
Yeah.
I like the punks.
I think it could
still
end up
have
being
mine.
like the greatest trade ever.
Ever?
Okay. I'm in.
Wow.
I'm already,
Quite
I'm
the
already
call.
in.
Seriously,
Okay.
I do.
You think buying punks right now will be the greatest trade ever?
Forward looking, like in the past, of course there were better opportunities. But like forward looking, yeah, I do. Like that is the creme de la creme asset to own
I've spilled
in that industry.
Oh no.
I
Yeah, but
think-
they are down like 60%.
They
or
might
so.
go down another
Gonna
50%.
sit here with a
bro.
wine stain and just
Who knows?
live with it.
They might
Okay.
go down another 50%.
Yeah, and
Because
buy another one.
people are going to, I bet you some of these punk holders are going to sell their punks to go buy meme coins. I bet you some people barely had enough ETH to buy a punk, and they're just sitting there fucking seething right now, like being like, why am I stuck with this thing?
Well, let's say it does go down another 50%. Would you buy one?
Yeah, definitely.
Like everybody kind of wants one.
yeah. It will find its mark, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like where that won't be possible. Like it will,
It'll find a bid
it'll test.
along the way.
Yeah, yeah. Too many people will start buying, and then price we'll find the floor soon on this. Right now, the whole NFT space floor is dropping. I don't know where punks will land.
It's probably like an interesting spot to maybe think about getting pudgies, you know? Like we have this with coins where they like kind of turbo pump and everybody thinks it's going to just pump forever, but it doesn't. It comes back down and then people are like, and they sell and they get disillusioned, but then it kind of bottoms and then like goes even higher.
Look, this is the hardest time, not to just talk about NFTs, but to apply this to anything. Like when Solana was $8, it was extremely difficult to buy. There's no sense of a future here. There's no conviction. When Solana was $8, it was at outages. People were shitting on it. This thing is dead.
I thought it was
corporate VCs are lost. They're going to have to find the next thing to pump.
FTX
Like,
still has to liquidate.
yeah, like that's where NFT Beanie is posting every single day. Nobody cares about, necessarily certain people on Twitter, and I know he's not very popular, but Beanie's constantly posting about NFTs are dead. Like, a lot of prominent people believe NFTs are dead.
Good signal. It's good signal. Like when you
You have
get
to
like
have insane conviction.
Max meme mania, and then like Max just. We're not even at like panic.
Everyone wants to look smart right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, NFTs are dead. Really, bro? Really? You're calling for the death of NFTs when this other meta is like absolutely sending? Like, that's just ridiculous.
Think about like the bull market cheat sheet chart, and then you get over the top, and then you have like the fucking like massive panic stage, right? This isn't massive panic. This is like the trial of disillusionment,
Despair,
where it's just sort of like slowly bleeding. People are like dancing. This is like the Economist is posting like, Bitcoin dead on the cover. FTX is already blown up.
Yep.
I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now, and then this will look very obvious in retrospect. The chat is very into MFers, by the way, which is something we talk about a lot. I still haven't bought one.
Really?
And I know I am going to play this podcast back in like a year and be like, I didn't buy
What's the
one. And
floor
I'm very
now?
sad.
So the beautiful thing about MFers, I don't know, maybe 0.3.
No
0.3?
way.
I'm just guessing.
Oh, damn.
Dude, the beautiful thing about MFers is we're not talking about $200,000 here. We're talking about probably one of the most iconic NFTs that you can own that will probably survive, that is extremely affordable. Nailed it.
0.29. Damn.
0.29.
This man is in touch. That's pretty sick that you can just
Sweep
buy
it up.
You could buy like 30 or 40 of these for like one penguin.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
They're so dope.
Have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a ton because you can kind of take profits actually and
Yeah,
not just get
it is
totally
nice.
attached to it.
It is nice to have like
I'm into
a
it.
ton of something. So
You know what we need, by the way? We need a meme coin that somehow has like an NFT component, right? Like right now, people are, there's people flexing about like Zincoin on Twitter, kind of. But like, do you really own Zincoin? I don't know. You don't want to like dox your wallet address or something. But if you could somehow have like some sort of NFT that represented that you
show
were
how
like a
many
Zin
tins
whale.
Oh,
Yeah,
rad.
of Zin
like
you
if
have.
somebody made a hybrid coin like that, where you could look at somebody's profile pic on Twitter and be like, wow, that guy owns a lot of Zin.
Like Zin whale.
That guy's
Yeah.
cool as fuck. I feel like that would crush. That's got to be like the next
That's a great idea.
evolution
So what you just
in
described,
degeneracy.
when that arrives, I think it will. That's my top signal.
It's
Let me
probably
tell you
already
why.
here right now. Like
me
if
tell you
we-
why.
Anytime you think about something and be like, "Wow, it'd be really cool if this exists." Like if you search for it on Twitter, you actually kind of find it.
No, I understand, but if you reflect back on NFTs, and you remember when it got to the point where Facebook, Meta, was making it so that you could verify your ownership of NFTs and use them as profile pictures, and you guys remember old Twitter doing the same, and that being not cool, and those people that nobody wanted to verify their ownership in crypto, but like some people did. That was the top. Like that was very close to the top. So that's when it just becomes like nonsense, and people are building around that game and around that industry to support it, and that's when you've seen enough, I think.
Well, it's the top the first time around, but then the second time around, that's just the thing that the first top was sort of predicting in advance, taking root and actually kind of coming into its own. I feel like the top signals they sometimes change, and we always ignore them. Like are somehow like, no, it's not a top. Like
Yeah.
Elon was on SNL shilling Dogecoin. We're like, it's not a top. He's the richest man in the world. He's talking about Dogecoin. You think that's a top?
Right.
Like everybody's gonna buy it. Nope, top.
Yep.
It's all over.
Yep.
To
A
the
lot
day.
of people I remember being like, this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. It was like literally the top. It was literally the top. It's amazing.
Oh man.
I've got a question for you, Eric, since you're considering a punk sale. Are you at all concerned with the trade history on the punk that you may be acquiring? Because I know some of the punks have been traded like animals.
No, well, if a punk it was owned by like Jay-Z, that's sick.
Yeah, I like that. I look at the ownership history. I also look at like the sales history. Like if something sold for 120 ETH last cycle and now it's at 40, I kind of like that better than one that was like always a floor or something.
That's true.
This punk on
does
the
the
screen
trade
is sick.
history
This
have
is
to
like
do with
the
it?
gay policeman stripper
Well, you
punk.
can look at
It's amazing.
if they have like an ENS address, you can see the ownership, like who actually owned it, and some of them are owned by people that we're familiar with, like on Twitter.
So,
So like
also,
that means something.
If you want it to be, like if you want it to mean something.
so
Okay.
a certain portion of the punks hit blur, and we're getting swapped back and forth like crazy. And so some of them have been traded like hundreds of times at this point, whereas most of the punks have kind of been held by
But what
a
does
single
that,
owner.
does that make it a dirty, dirty
Jimmy
punk?
doesn't want his punk to be run through. Like
Yeah,
some
does
Absolutely
that make it a dirty punk? I'm like, he wants a virgin. He wants a virgin punk.
Yeah,
Oh man, I could care
Maybe
less.
that's- I don't know. Like in defense of Jimmy, like if I had a punk that it only like it was minted and I was the first person who bought it, I actually feel like that punk does carry some premium.
That's pretty clean. Yeah.
It's probably some premium. I don't know if the market cares that much, but like if
You guys are literally projecting your sexual preferences right now. This has nothing to do with the value of a cartoon JPEG.
There is no
the
way-
amount of
there is
hands,
no way the
wallets
chat
it has
does not
touched.
agree with this.
The
Okay.
amount of wallets that a cartoon JPEG has touched has nothing to do with its value.
chat, if you had two identical punks, one had been traded like 65
I'd
times.
want the one who's
and
seen
the
some
other
shit.
one was minted and just sold to you. You're telling me you're not paying like a little bit of a premium for the freshly minted punk that you were the first buyer
sound like
of?
Andrew
the
Tate.
first one to
You
buy
sound
that
like
punk?
the Andrew Tate of NFTs, dude.
It's true.
guy-
It's true. There's no way people disagree with this.
Isn't he known for literally refusing to date a girl who's not a virgin? That's his thing.
I don't know. He's known for a lot of things.
Yeah, well, that's another one. That's another one. Says all women have to be virgins. You guys are hilarious.
Peter B said, "It matters. I pay attention to it."
Oh my god. The dirtier the
Vibes
better.
also. It definitely does.
you want
Yeah.
your punk to have a high body count?
It is what it is, man.
Can't have a high body count
No
punk.
judgment.
I'm gonna go home now and check my punks.
Yeah.
Like,
10% premium.
How many own it?
Okay. Yeah. Something to look at.
Premium.
Good question. It's something I'll look into.
I wonder if anybody's
God.
talked about this before. Actually,
man,
I want to
this
go
old
search.
punk.
I want to go search Twitter now.
She's
Like, I
been up
wonder if
and
this
down that
discussion has been
blockchain,
had.
man. She's been up and down
Jimmy,
that
create a
blockchain.
bot. Create a bot that shows how clean the punks are.
Oh, a punk rating system.
That's
Yeah.
a simple.
Oh my
little-
god,
and,
that
then,
would
and then we turn it into a rug about halfway through.
that would go so viral. Like especially if you only did it for female punks, because people would be so mad,
Oh,
and then they
good
would
one.
share it
Good
like
one.
crazy. Of like, can you believe this? And Jimmy's like, yes, good, share it, share it. I know, I want you to share it.
God, that actually is good. Only on the female ones. That is fucking.
Man, we get
hilarious.
some billion-dollar ideas here. It's not a billion-dollar idea, but like it's funny.
You can't save her.
It's very
Steven.
trolly.
You can't save her.
Hokum wants punk rejuvenation surgery.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the chat is unanimous. They don't want to run through punk.
I guess I'm the only one that
This
doesn't.
is the thing. Armand doesn't. He doesn't care.
I don't.
He just loves you for you.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Can you switch Jimmy to the
All right,
So-
what's next on the docket here?
man?
We got a lot. Oh yeah. Let's talk about this. So was it 4 years ago to the day yesterday was the great COVID crash, and I feel like a lot of people weren't around for this. Like I myself was like around, but kind of checked out, just watching everything die. And I remember people who I was talking to who were still into crypto, like we were watching this happen, and most everybody was like, yeah, it's literally dead. It's dead. It's like actually, it was freaking wild. Bitcoin went negative 40% in like a single day. Just absolute.
This was like at the
Pandemonium.
beginning of COVID.
Yeah, this is like when stock market was kind of
Yeah.
Stock market
crashing.
dropped like 30% too.
Yeah.
Like, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
I thought crypto was dead for sure. I was like Jamie Dimon
Dude,
at this point.
I thought the whole market was dead.
Yeah, and then
It came right
30
back.
days later, all-time highs or
We
something.
printed like more money than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was gnarly. But Kobe, crypto Twitter legend, he put out a tweet that will live in infamy on the day of the bottom. My buy wall will hold the greatest armies at bay. Not even time can weather it. One buy wall for my children. One buy wall to save Bitcoin. One buy wall for Satoshi. And today I think we should salute the brave heroes who bid $3,000 or whatever it was Bitcoin,
On the anniversary.
and just
Was it $3,000?
it was
Fucking
about.
legendary.
I think it was
Legend.
about 3K,
What a
right?
legend.
So legendary.
No, we had some wicks there, Jimmy. You're looking at the
Oh,
candle
yeah,
bodies.
wicks are
Where'd the wick go?
36.
36. That sounds about right. So to the heroes, the legends who bid 36K Bitcoin at a time when everybody thought it was going to zero, not only did they make enormous amounts of money, they saved the space, and I think we should make this like a
Yeah.
national holiday.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure.
That's unreal.
Yeah, we should get a
Well,
day
the
off.
Much. Speaking of Kobe, can I talk about this? Can you talk about this? You're doing a podcast?
Yes.
Oh yeah, recording a meme debate with Ledger on
There you
Friday.
go. On Bankless.
Yes.
God, he's gonna
Yeah.
be such a boomer. It's gonna be amazing.
So our good friend Ledger and you are throwing the gloves on to discuss meme coin culture.
Yeah, it's going to be a polite discussion.
See, but I
I'm
don't
not
want it
going
to be
to-
a polite discussion. I want you to go against somebody that you can just, execute.
Yeah. What are you gonna say? Because Ledger's just gonna be like so cordial. He's just be like,
Yeah, like say
man.
something. I'll try to dunk on it and he'd be like, "Yeah, it's a really great point you bring up there.
Yeah,
I hadn't really
Ledger,
considered
Ledger's
that."
not
actually."
somebody I want you to duke. Ledger's
He's
a
so
man.
friendly.
Yeah, he's so friendly.
I love that too. It's not to win. It's to make the viewers like think about stuff.
Okay.
You're
know?
both chart extraordinaires. I'm excited to see what gets thrown up on the screen and what he counters with, if anything. Like, because I know he's into TradFi too. Maybe he's like playing MSTR instead, which is kind of like giving meme coin returns.
I'm pretty sure he does not own Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic Inu,
Yeah, I'm
69.
sure about that.
That is for sure.
This is pretty cool though. We got ours from ETH Denver, and now we have our very own Magic
Yeah.
Lines happening.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
On Bankless. So excellent.
Maybe this is my calling this bull cycle. I'm gonna be like the meme guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to be?
I mean, I have no
To
problem
be
with
honest,
it.
for like the meme guy, I'm kind of out meme trading you. So like, you better get busy, bro.
I like that.
Are you
yeah,
out trading me?
I think so.
I think I'm not even gonna say it.
I mean,
You're just baiting me into
That's
saying
big.
something
That's
that's going
big.
to
You're
sound.
definitely not accumulating enough coins per day. You got to buy more. You got to buy more.
Don't make me open up my Pepe P&L.
Uh-oh.
I'll do it. I'll load up Adrian's computer right in front of you.
Jeez.
I'll just stick your
More
face in front
Pepe
of
or
it.
more whiff?
I have a way larger Pepe holding actually than Whiff.
Yeah.
I still think I'm going to get to buy Whiff like around like $1 again. And I have it circled on my chart. I'm actually going to talk about this tomorrow on Irresponsibly Long. I have like these circles on a bunch of charts, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to get to
for
buy
them.
here again. And I have like this note to myself that's going to be like, bid.
Can't wait.
Which was it? Oh my God! Do you remember that the Kobe tweet from last bull run too? I don't even.
What was it regarding?
I
What
can't
asset?
remember it word for word, but like, it was at a time like this when it was like kind of like euphoric at the beginning, and he was like, "There will come a time where suddenly everything goes to hell and everything goes down, and you think it's over. You must find it in yourself to bid." And then like he tweeted it. It was beautiful, and it was basically when like Bitcoin like kind of there was like this mega crash in January or February last bull run, like right before alts just went turbo moon, and people were like, "Oh, it's over! God damn it, it's over already!" And it was actually almost over, but actually you could have still made like another 20x and a bunch of altcoins. So it was a great tweet. It was a great tweet.
So I want you guys to think about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Jimmy. I feel like the word was like you must. I feel like if you search like you must bid, and then like Kobe, like an advanced search, you'll find it. It was good.
Why don't you guys think about if there's any other money topics that you want to touch on today? Because I'm excited for what we have next. While you do that, I'd like to remind the chat. There's many of you here. You have not all liked the video. Please like the video.
Please like the video.
Also, please send the video to a friend. Let's get this live stream out to your community. If you're on X, please share it.
We need
on
more
X.
sisters in the chat.
We don't. Yeah, we need
Where
more sisters.
are
For
the
those of you that are
sisters?
here weekly, you know exactly what we're talking about. But like, let's get a little bit more alfalfa community action on getting the live stream out, especially as we're entering the bull market. You know, post it on your Facebook, like happened that week. Post it on your X account, and just mention why. Mention why you're even here, or if you're listening in the future and you're not here live as well. Would really appreciate that. It goes a long way to making this whole thing exciting and valuable for everybody. So, guys,
Yeah, let's pivot.
Yes.
yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready to
Are you
pivot?
sure?
Yeah.
All right, it's gonna get good. So, let's start with Picasso. All right, so this is a true story apparently about Pablo Picasso. If you're watching the live stream right now, the video, we're showing you an image. There's a few images. I pulled this one that was in color. There's a few even older images in black and white where Pablo Picasso carried a revolver loaded with blanks, which he used to shoot at people who asked him about the meaning behind his paintings. So, as you can imagine, when you're like the most famous living artist in the world, and arguably like even of all time, people were constantly probably badgering him about like, why is the arm twisted?
well,
And
he'll look all
what's the
fucked up.
face mean? And what were you thinking about this? And it just says a lot about him that he took it to that level, to make that level of a statement, to carry around a gun, to warn people not to ask him.
This-
and he shot it. He shot the gun at people that asked him the question.
This is like when people are like, well, what if Satoshi just comes back and prints more coins? You just pull out a gun and you just...
That'd be the equivalent of Vitalik doing. Oh,
That'd be
jeez.
sick if Vitalik did that. Anytime somebody said pre-mine, he just pulls out his gun with blanks and just...
Oh my god.
Do you guys find yourself when you look at art though, like wondering about the meaning? Because I feel like a little bit attacked by this. I'm always wondering. I wonder what the guy meant by this.
Yes and no. Sometimes I just
You just
I let it wash
bask.
over me.
You just bask in the glory.
Sometimes I just let it wash over me. That's a good question. Like, do you guys go? I mean, I know you don't, but when you have gone to like museums, you're not a regular museum guy. I mean, I know you guys enough to know you're not like a
Fucking
uncultured
uncultured
swine.
swine.
but like. Do you guys go to like
This is how he views us.
MoMA or something and just like, is that something you would do for leisure? Like, you
Did
know?
you just baited me with leisure, didn't you?
No, that's how I say it.
No,
That's how Eric says it too.
That was to me, not you. Not you, pal.
You say
It's not always about you, Steven. That was for Eric.
everything you say is about baiting
Eric
me.
is a man of leisure.
The second I
We've-
sit down in this chair, I'm just getting baited.
As if you were a friend who was listening, you would know he's a man of leisure.
Yeah,
It's not
that's a fact.
leisure, it's leisure.
But I do go. Yeah, I do go to museums, and I do ask myself though,
Leisure.
what do they mean by this? What are they trying to convey?
Yes.
I mean, is that normal, or is that would I get shot for that? Picasso shot.
You would get Picasso
I think
shot.
you're totally allowed to ask that, just not to the artist.
Yeah, like you can ask it to
We
yourself.
should ask Nick and Chris
Right.
how they feel when they're asked that question. I bet in the beginning you probably like it a lot, but then when you're Picasso level, you probably just never want to hear
That was
question
exactly
again.
the thought I had in my head. Like at first, it's like, oh my
Oh,
god,
thank you
somebody's
for
asking me,
asking.
thank you, and then pretty soon it's just like, I am so tired of this. I've literally purchased a gun in blanks to shoot you in the face.
I could imagine it getting to the point where he was like, nothing. There is no meaning. Just becomes a full-blown artistic nihilist.
It's so much better when you know that there's a really cool meaning behind it. I always do this with songs. I look up the song meaning and compare the lyrics to what the intention was, and then you get like this deeper understanding. It makes it way cooler.
Well, the whole reason people buy art is the meaning. Like, art without meaning is worthless.
Wait, you
to
think
them.
people buy art for meaning?
Correct.
No, people buy art because they think somebody's gonna like think they're cool or they can sell it for more money later.
Sure, but the reason that real art collectors buy art is they like to know the story and the meaning behind it from the artist. That's what adds value to the artist. Ask every artist out there. They will tell you that people ask them the meaning of their piece, and as soon as they learn the meaning, that's when they become attached to it, the story. That's why they want to own it. Every artist
No,
explains
that's just
this.
like when you order a
I am
nice
not
glass
making
of
this up.
wine and you're just like, just tell me what, and then they're just like, yeah, the vineyard is
No, but exactly.
adjacent to the plot of the late great.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's grape juice in a bottle.
And then you smell it, and they're like, "You smell that? It smells like wood chips and garden
would
hose." And you're like,
pay
"Yes, I
for
do
that.
smell wood chips and garden hose." And they're just like fucking with you.
You're
And
paying for an experience. You're paying for a story.
you just you just bought the wine and liked it because somebody else told you it was cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like art.
So we agree. Yes.
Well, if that's your point, then
that's
yeah, I
my
agree.
point. That's my point.
I
That's
feel
why
like that
people
wasn't
buy
the
it.
point you stated, but
Yes, that is the exact point I'm stating. I'm stating that people buy the art because they've been explained to them that there's a meaning behind it. That's what creates the significance of the piece in the first place. They're like,
no, I'm
okay,
saying they just
I'm
think
in.
other people think it's cool and that they will be cool for having it.
That came from fucking Bankless.
God,
What?
Bankless is Bankless is at the bar right now.
Bankless is on
What
fire.
in the hell?
Tom Nom in the chat.
Hold on. Jimmy, you got to read this.
Dude,
Don't
no,
read
no,
it.
no,
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 dude,
don't read it.
no,
Don't read it.
literally,
Don't read it.
that is so bad that like
Don't read it.
that's so. What's funny about that is that
That'll
I
just
get
be
it.
there for the live audience.
I get it. They can never say anything like that on their podcast. So they come in our chat
Yeah.
and say something so bad that we wouldn't even say on our own podcast.
So this is the bar.
I
right?
wouldn't even say that on this podcast. That's how bad that is.
That's probably just somebody who made like a YouTube account and just copied the logo and the name. It's probably not even them.
No, I mean, is it? Dude, if that is actually. Oh,
Pat just walked in
Watch,
too.
that's-
Pat's like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
watch, that's actually David. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
that's
that is
legit.
the channel.
It's legit.
Oh,
I
man.
am
Go follow
blown
Bankless.
away.
What's up, David? What's up, David, in the chat? What's
I,
up, Pat?
I will give the podcast a hint. It has to do with the rip in my jeans.
I was actually wondering about the rip in your jeans too. If we're gonna be honest,
jeans.
I was
do
admiring your quads through the
jeans
rip.
they just naturally splinter when you have such enormous thighs.
This is
It just
literally-
can't contain you.
A Paradox made a funny comment about Rectum's quads today. I liked that.
Oh, the greatest of all quads.
Greatest quads of all
Yeah,
time.
he's got the quads. Wow, I'm like, I'm blushing. I don't know if you can make a Persian man
Tom
blush,
Nom with the
but
double dead.
I am a Persian man blushing right now. That
Okay,
is-
what's the next topic?
I think last week at the level of intoxication, I probably would have like
We need to put
repeated it 3 times.
a plaque on the wall for largest fucking dunk in Alfalfa history. And number one on the leaderboard.
Bankless establishing dominance.
I mean, what Bankless doesn't understand is that you have to donate for us to read that out. So
Oh,
if you'd
yeah.
like us to read that out, we're actually obligated to do so with the donation.
That's
So
true. If you
feel
if you
free
donate,
to
we
drop
have to-
your
we have to say it.
$690.
That's a good one.
I'm happy to read that out for you. No
That's
problem.
pretty good.
Tom Nom says he will buy those art jeans if you tell me the story behind it.
Exactly.
Nice.
The story's up in the chat, brother.
Hey man, no judgment. We
Okay.
welcome you here.
So
What's
where were we
next?
before
What's
we
next?
got trolled
I have
by
no
our,
idea actually what we're talking about.
by our
Oh, we're talking about Picasso shooting people.
yeah.
It's
So
hilarious.
to go a little bit deeper into this, let's go to this.
By the way, this new segment is called Quotes That Armand Likes.
No, we're done with this.
Sorry, that's a working title.
No, we can skip that. So
We're
let's go to
squishing that
this.
one?
Let's go to this tweet. No, I didn't really want to include.
Okay.
That.
Dead to us.
Go
Dead
ahead,
to us.
Stephen, with this regulation piece.
Oh, we're doing this one? Nice. I wanted to do this with Nick and Eric here, but we can do it just with
You
Eric.
can skip it if you want.
It's evergreen.
Yeah, I mean, no, let's talk about it.
Okay.
I'm in the zone. Let's do it. So Nick Carter put out a tweet. You learn something stupid about regulation every day. Here's an interesting fact. Users of snus, oral tobacco pouches, lose 15 days of life expectancy on average. Smokers lose 8 years. Yet, snus is banned everywhere in the EU except for Sweden. Sweden has the lowest smoking rates in the EU at around 5% daily smokers. EU average is 24%. Holy shit, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the stereotype is real. Everybody's just smoking. 24%. Wow. What is it? Jimmy, I can't read that. What's the end of the tweet?
I got
caught up with the trend.
Swedes do have a higher overall tobacco use than the EU average, but most of that usage
They are
is
so
snus.
addicted to snus.
Interesting.
And snus is basically Zyn, right?
Wait,
Zyn
there's
comes
one
from,
more. There's one more
Scandinavia.
factoid below, I think, about Swedes.
It's just a different brand, but
Yes.
same product, right?
Unsurprisingly, Sweden also has the lowest health burden from tobacco-related illnesses in the EU. There is a clear substitution effect. Oh, damn, this is a long tweet. Look at this thing. Keeps going. Cigarette usage in Sweden has plunged in the 60s, while snus usage has climbed steadily. More snus users than smokers. Okay, so the TLDR of this is basically that the European Union stamped out snus, which is basically Zyn, right? Is this close to Zyn?
So Zins are.
What's the difference between Zyn and snus?
So
as a non-enjoyer.
So as an enjoyer, currently enjoying right now, I think snus or like these packaged pouch tobaccos can use actual tobacco.
I
Sometimes.
actually used snus in like 2008 in college before it was
yeah,
cool.
like
so
before Zyn came out. Like
I feel
Zyn
like I need a POAP for
Zyn's
it.
pure nicotine. Like the inside is just nicotine, whereas the snus pouches formerly were like actual tobacco.
Okay, so Zyn does not contain tobacco leaf.
No, it's just
It's
nicotine.
nicotine salts and other ingredients like
so it's just like
sweeteners and
straight
blah,
to the
blah,
good
blah.
stuff.
Yeah. So I think it's
Well-
actually more clean
Yeah.
than
Snus is literally moist tobacco
yeah.
Interesting.
along with salt, blah, blah, blah.
But I guess the idea of
It's
not-
regulated as a food product in Sweden. And it's
Well,
been linked to a low rate of smoking and smoking-related diseases.
Yeah, so I can attest to the idea of like getting off of smoking through using the Zyn, and the data in Sweden also supports that, and I feel better. So I feel like I'm not losing 8 years of my life, only 15 days, which is like a happy trade.
15
for me.
days is a good trade-off, I think.
Dude,
I think
there's-
this is actually an interesting question. Like, how many days would you be willing to knock off your life for
Yeah.
doing something that you
15
enjoy every
days
day?
is a no-brainer.
That's
for
a
me.
no-brainer,
Yeah.
right?
Hold on a second.
What?
The 15 days type data remark is misleading.
Why?
I don't understand that well enough to be able to explain it, but I don't think it's. No, it is. It's misleading.
Declarative statement.
Yeah, I'm gonna argue
Why?
No,
Well-
I'm not arguing. I'm just pointing out. Are you wasted? I'm pointing out.
No,
Are you
I
going to be
am-
Armand this week?
I am lucid and hilarious.
When you say something like that, those are averages speaking. Okay, you want me to try and explain it?
Oh
Come on.
no, I know, dude.
Wait, where's the meme?
I'm not saying it's 15 days exact.
Well, then that's silly to look at it that way.
Okay.
Okay, what you're doing, Steven, right now, it's called demeaning. Can you please stop?
Have
Okay.
you been on this podcast?
No, it's my first time.
Just so
It's
we're
my first
clear,
time.
just so we're clear, I know that it's not an exact 15 days that I'm trading. Just so we're clear.
Oh,
I
just
know
so
that.
we're clear, Eric, Armand was demeaning you because he was like, "Well, Eric, did you know that
Yeah, I
this
know.
stat doesn't mean you live exactly 15 days less?" And you were like,
I knew that.
"Well, thank you."
I think that that's significant, is my point.
15 days? Mm-hmm. No, it's not. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm taking the trade. Is what I'm saying.
Cool.
It's a good trade. There's definitely stuff you do in your everyday life right now that's taking 15 days off your life.
Yeah, and you can't even sort of like compartmentalize it specifically anyway. I think like even when they say 15 days off your life, like they have no idea. These are all like habits are correlated to other habits. A person that utilizes like nicotine or snus is doing other things that are beneficial to them or not beneficial to them. I think that nobody has any idea how many days it takes off of your life. That's my point. Like when they say 15 days, I think it's a bag of garbage. I think it's a terrible statistic, and I don't think it's valid. So
Yeah.
I think when you look at stuff like that with nutrition and with habits, like negative forming habits, things like that with tobacco, you actually can't get to the bottom of like how bad it is for you.
But we're getting kind of lost in something that we all agree with. But I don't think that really matters as much as the bigger point, which is that the EU banned these, but not smoking, where smoking is very clearly worse for you.
Yes.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the point is that the government does really dumb shit that makes no logical sense because donors, unfortunately.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Nick
That's
is
super dumb.
Nick is definitely a little He's known for his kind of. Is it
Nicotine.
like a right? He feels like kind of like a right wing Bitcoin. You know, it's like a very Bitcoiner take. You know.
Yeah.
By the way, there's this podcast definitely is knocking 15 days off my life.
Yeah.
For sure.
How about like trading crypto? That's
Minimum.
like just so much stress.
Oh,
You're-
that's like 15 years for sure. But like, I even feel like that's like a worthwhile trade. But yeah, just us getting together once a week and just basically blacking out. It's probably like 15 days.
On the other hand, at the same time,
it.
I think
Worth
there's
it.
nothing more that is adding more years to your life. I mean, if you look at like all longevity science, it all has to do with disconnection and disease, and loneliness creates loss of life and loss of years of life. And those, like the Grant study from Harvard, that's literally what it examines. We've brought it up many times on the podcast. So those that have or cultivate something like this end up living far longer. So everything is a trade-off, and one positive habit can be formed to form a negative habit. But that's why all of this, like, does this add years to your life or not? Science is almost impossible, in my opinion.
Do you value the later years like the same as your present years? Like, what is your exchange rate?
Good question. Because I think
I'm
Every-
assuming you hadn't pre-thought this out,
Yeah,
so
but
feel
like-
free to think, by the way.
everybody prefers their like peak years to their 90s and stuff, right? Like, of
Yeah.
course.
I think so.
And I think that's sort of what you're trading when you.
Well,
do-
there's like this old, kind of like just idea of like when you're younger, you don't have money, and you don't have time, but you have your health. You get older, you have your health, you have no time, but you have money. You get older, you have time, and you have money, but you don't have health. So as time goes on, in general, you're losing and trading off one or the other of these things. I think most people prefer to have their health. But also, it can be very nice to just have your time and money.
But there's also like it's also like how high your peak is at your peak. Like you can like look at an athlete, right, and say maybe if I was an athlete, I would do steroids because I want my peak to be higher, even if it compromises my later years. Because like that magnitude at peak is very important as well. It's not just about time.
That's true. I guess then the question becomes like, are you willing to be like a Adrian Peterson who has like 2-3 incredible seasons, but then doesn't have the longevity of a Emmitt Smith?
Sure.
You know?
Or maybe you don't do steroids and your name never gets remembered at all.
Yeah, that's true. What would you do? Do you think it's better to peak or better to like have a daily 8?
Yeah, I think stylistically, I'm sort of like a low peak longevity guy. I think for me.
Yeah.
Can I offer something
Dow.
on this?
Yeah.
So my great uncle died at 97 years old, which sounds amazing until you go to his funeral, and the guy who gives his eulogy has known him for 18 years, and he has nothing to really say about him because all he's done is go to the grocery store and to baseball games because he's been in his 80s and 90s his entire life, you know.
And all of his friends are dead.
and
Is
all of
that-
his friends are dead,
Ooh,
and his wife's great, still alive, but it's like
damn.
that's a tough. It was not the happiest funeral I've ever been to. Not that any funeral's happy, but there was very little people there that remembered him at his prime.
I hadn't thought of that.
So
You outlive all your loved ones, and then the end just fucking sucks.
Damn.
It's a good argument for
compelling
children.
case for. Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing.
It is.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It's been something I've been debating in my head a lot lately.
Yeah, dude, the joy lately for me is like exceeding all-time highs. She's walking. My mom is in town. Took her to the park today. She's like chasing other babies, like playing. It's a whole different level now. Whole different level.
It's crazy, like how much of my ETH Denver conversation like revolved around like like the concept of like having kids.
Why did that
and,
come
like,
up so
legacy.
much?
I don't know actually.
Was
Maybe-
it just like, and a lot of the people that brought it up with you weren't dads.
It was really interesting because we were having this conversation at the meetup, and I had a table with like guy who's like, don't want kids, don't care, super happy,
Right.
coasting, and then I had you who's like, have kid, love it, greatest thing. Here's, you want to see pictures of my baby?
Well, no, you guys
then
pulled
had-
me into the conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I was standing off to the side. Armand, come give your take on this.
And then we had like, you know, have a kid, love it, it's awesome, but like maybe don't do it. But should, you know, I had like all these like kind of perspectives.
Right.
And then I left just like still confused. So didn't really help me that much. But
Yeah,
it was still
there's no answer, is there? Yeah.
like everybody keeps telling me this, and it's like so unsatisfying. What do you mean there's no answer? Like, how is there no answer? There's always an answer, right?
Well,
I think
like-
it's a red pill, blue pill situation.
Like, how so?
I think your whole reality changes so much that people don't emphasize in society how much your reality changes.
Were you in the Discord today when we were talking about the Matrix?
I saw it come up. Yeah. Yeah.
The Matrix came up, and then I was just like talking about how the Matrix, it's actually this like allegory for how like the world around you is constructed to entertain you. And then like Tom Nom like rolled in, and he's like,
Yeah.
it's like a trans story. And then like Marty's like, check the directors, and apparently both the directors were men and just turned into women.
Did both, or I thought one
Both.
did?
I think they both became women, and I was just like, well,
Yeah.
I feel like a fucking moron.
So was that always the metaphor then?
I was,
Like,
I was like, well,
I don't think so.
I was like, red pill is just the gay pill.
I don't think
All
I
so.
stopped
along.
thinking about the meaning of art, anyways.
Good thing we don't care about art anymore. We
I
just
don't-
watch it and go like, ooh, that's cool, and
I
then
don't
move
think
on.
so. I think The Matrix is a documentary. I think that's accurate. And I think it is an allegory for
You
that.
think the Matrix is a documentary?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah. Haven't you seen that slogan?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so true.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good, that's what you described today.
When the Matrix originally came out, it didn't make a lot of sense in the current times because
Right.
people still
It was very
like,
ahead of its time.
people still trusted media. We didn't have like this weird dystopian kind of tech and social media and all this stuff. It's like hard to imagine the time when the Matrix came out, like how freaking different it was to now. But now it's like, oh, now like, you know, that's like, it's like a freaking Andrew Tate quote at this point. You know,
Yeah. I
The
know.
Was
Matrix,
that like
bro.
was that the
Matrix.
origin of the unrest though? Because it was like our generation who saw that at like a malleable age, and now we're getting to this stage of our life where
You
we're
think that, in a sense, that pilled
it
everybody?
was like sowed the seeds of unrest.
That's interesting. What year was that? Maybe 99?
Yeah, I remember we were in
Wasn't
I was in
99?
high school,
Was it a little later than that? Maybe early 2000s? Probably early 2000s.
something like that.
it's like
Oh
actually
my
insane.
God, I'm on fire. 99.
99. So I saw that thing, was like, whoa, and I was 9 years away from getting an iPhone still.
Yeah.
Like that thing was so
That's
early.
So early.
So early. But now it
I should do
feels
Jeopardy. I don't know how I
You're
know
on
these
fire.
things.
Don't you feel like Matrix vibes now? Like don't you feel like stuff is unraveling and like you've got like Elon on Twitter just kind of poking this thing. He's like,
Do you want to talk about your admiration for Elon Musk?
no.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about your admiration for Elon Musk?
I don't know. My admiration for Elon Musk has been clear. I was just wondering if you wanted to clarify your position on Elon
I have
Musk.
always had a sort of neutral, skeptical view. Oh, that's a good quote, actually. Oh, yeah, the Elon Musk meme. The world isn't getting worse or darker. The veil sheltering you from reality is lifting. Jim from The Office whiteboard meme. Great meme.
It is.
This is, I mean, yeah, this
It's
is
correct.
true.
It's correct.
This is like the Matrix thing. It's like people are sort of,
The world is absolutely not getting worse.
you're like realizing you're just in this kind of thing. You're like, whoa, you see parts of it. You don't know exactly what's happening, but you do realize that there are people trying to shape your
Here's
perception
another
of everything.
good movie analogy. The Truman Show. The Truman Show is about the world isn't getting worse or darker. The veil is lifting, and the truths about the institutions and the people around you are revealing themselves.
But it's all about you.
Jim,
It's all about you.
yes, but like his friend isn't his friend the way he thought. The world that he lived in isn't as limited as he assumed. There are boundaries that didn't exist that he thought existed. Like, these are the things that are changing. That's what the Truman Show represents. Another, by the way, I would say, like, absolutely psychedelic movie, like incredible movie, that is so underrated and talks about sociocultural and political narratives that are just so important to understand. Like, I think that movie is really significant. But it's the same thing. Like, that's exactly what's happening. Like, the world is not a terrible place. The world is better than it's ever been, safer than it's ever been. On the other hand, do you guys feel like there are moments of violence that are increasing? Like, if you could view like reality as like a chart, and you view crime and violence and war going down into the right, or just down generally, do you see indications of like these weird moments of like radicalism and violence?
No.
Like things that didn't used to occur that are occurring in a
No.
different way?
I feel like I see more of it. Is that just social
Again,
media,
the
like
veil?
yeah? Is that
I think that's
is that
the-
again your
just
exposure?
exposing more of it?
That's the opposite of this, I think, where it's like I feel like you're seeing something amplified that actually is less than it historically has always been.
Yeah, so that blip on the radar is not really a blip. It's
You
the
think?
previous
like,
data
it
point.
feels like it's getting way more.
I
Like,
know it feels that
like
way.
after the
but-
Super Bowl, there was like the shooting and the parade in Kansas City, and that like it's kind of just like
I'm
brushed
talking
over.
with like a 7-year time horizon, though, not like 2
Wow,
months.
I didn't even know that happened.
Right, and like
Yeah.
it just
There
it's
was a
so
shooting at a parade?
nonchalant now because people just get shot all the time. Like when we were young, like 20 years ago, that wasn't a thing. Like it would be like huge if that was ever a thing.
In some ways, too, things are just changing. The types of events that occur are changing. Like,
Yeah, but like we've changed like one type of violence for another in some ways. Like I don't think people were like ODing on oxy to the tune of like tens or hundreds of thousands of people a year and fentanyl and all that stuff. So it's just like, okay, yeah, like we had fewer like these mass shooting things, but like I don't know, like it. Maybe I'm actually arguing the same thing in my head. Maybe it is. No, I hate when I say things and then I'm like, oh wait a minute, that's the opposite of the thing I'm saying. Yeah, you're right, Eric. I withdraw my statement.
Well, see, that's I allow it. You have to allow these moments.
No, it's cool. I know when I've beaten myself.
That's the beauty of thinking, talking, and thinking to discover what you know. Sometimes, seriously, I believe in that.
Wait, did this all come from the Zin?
Yeah.
What a prompt.
Sometimes you got to forget about it. Don't worry. This is the meaning section of
Damn,
the pod.
we took that on
You
a
got to
journey.
let it go. You got to just like roll with it. Yeah.
Anyway,
it wasn't
Zin-
time to pivot or anything.
Zin, good meme.
So I want to bring up this last. We'll go back to a quote. It's the last one on the slides, Jimmy. The quote is this, and I think it would just create a really interesting life discussion. So this is a quote by Seneca, a great philosopher. An untroubled life is a dead sea. To have nothing to stir you and rouse you to action, no attack by which to try the strength of your spirit, merely to lie in unshaken idleness. This is not to be tranquil. It is to be stranded in a windless calm. React.
I love this.
Why? Why did it stand out to you?
I mean, this is I can't remember who said the thing that like turned me on to this idea, but I went through most of my life with the idea that the purpose of everything I was doing was to try to remove like stress and suffering from my life.
Yes.
I wanted everything to be easy, right? And
Yes.
to me, that was like this panacea. Like once all the stress and the suffering is gone, then I will be calm and fulfilled, and I'll be able
Happy.
to just sit around all day and be happy. And then it wasn't Seneca, but somebody I think was channeling this in like a thing. I was on a podcast or something. I don't even know. It was a long time ago, and they conveyed this idea that like, well, suffering is good, stress is good, and like when you talk about growth and evolution, like at the root of that is stress and suffering. Like there has to be some sort of exogenous shock to a system to get it to adapt and change and and grow. Like, and if you believe that your purpose is to sort of grow, then like stress is good to an extent, and hardship is good to an extent, even though it doesn't seem that way
Yes.
to a time. And this is, I think, when people talk about like, oh, these trust fund kids or people who get like so rich and then they all end up like lost at sea, basically, just drifting or even worse sometimes. This is kind of at the root of it. Like, I feel like you are genetically wired to like have some stressor come in and to react to it and to deal with it and grow, and then that like feedback loop produces like a chemical hit in your brain that like not only makes you feel good, but like also like makes you sort of better in other ways, and you carry that forward and forward and forward. And like when people lose that, they kind of start dying. And so I really like this.
They do. They just start atrophying, right?
Do you think anybody actually lives like this, though? I feel like this is so binary, right? He's talking about people who only live in tranquility. I don't know anybody, and I grew up privileged. I don't know anybody like this. Everybody who I know still has like a meaning in their life, no matter their privilege.
I know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
No, I
like
know
this.
people.
Really?
Like this. So there's people. So a good example of this is the person who's just like smokes pot all the time and just
Yeah,
feels
exactly. Just
good
imagine,
and
like,
calm.
the
And
kinda,
I've
like,
removed all the stressors of I don't care about
Typical
anything.
person who's like,
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with the amount of money I make. I'm satisfied with my friends or lack of friends. I'm just okay.
I'm just chill, man.
Unbothered.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Moisturized. But not that. This
Yeah.
is different. This is like I have removed all stress, and as a result, I am a drifter. I'm floating in the wind.
I
You
see.
remember like reading I think it was Napoleon Hill. No, excuse me. Yeah, it was Napoleon Hill. I think it was Napoleon Hill in that book about conversations with the devil, outwitting the devil. Did you ever read that?
No,
Did
I
we
read.
talk about
I read
that?
another book.
We
of
talked
his other
about
books.
a book by Stephen Pressfield called, he has one called Do the
War
Work
of Art?
and The War of Art, right?
Yeah.
And he has the same message. And the message is that drifting in life is a cause of huge suffering for people, a different kind of suffering. Like intentional suffering is suffering that you choose, stresses that you bring in your life, you challenge yourself in order to grow and evolve. And back to Stephen's point, like I totally agree that like if you look at every animal species, if you look at every form of life, without some sort of like environmental stress, sometimes brought upon themselves even willingly and voluntarily, there is no growth and there's no evolution of the species. Like species will develop a shell as a result to dealing with their environment to protect themselves, or they'll develop a weapon like a fang as a result of how to, or develop different kind of teeth in order to chew a different kind of meat or whatever. These are all a result of like suffering and stress.
Yeah.
And without that, they suffer. And so like on the personal development side, they often talk about these people who are drifters. I think Napoleon Hill was the one that used the phrase like drifting, in the sense that so many people go through life having gotten to a point where they're essentially protecting themselves from risk. They're preventing themselves from taking action, because action can potentially mean embarrassment and failure and poverty and ashamedness and all these things that can hurt an individual. But what they don't realize is on the other side of it, they don't grow. And without growth, you're just dying.
I agree with all
You're
that.
literally dying.
I agree with all that. I think there's like the nuance here is also on the other side, where it's like if you just stress yourself, that's also pretty shitty too. Like having some tranquility in your life is actually quite nice.
No question.
Like going out on a stream in Wyoming and casting a fly lure by myself, and you're just like, you're hearing the water go by and seeing the mountains is fucking rad.
No
I
question.
do gardening in my backyard. It's fucking really cool. Like I like it.
Well, the way is the middle way.
The middle way.
The middle way is the way. And I think that is illustrating sort of, as you said, a binary decision, but it's not a binary decision. It doesn't have to be a binary decision.
Okay, I think like that is quite obvious, but the one that I would bring up that has me questioning is Eckhart Tolle.
Mm-hmm.
When he was kind of, he seemed to be the guy who like totally unplugged and he was talking about in The Power of Now, I guess, like just sitting on a sunny day on a park bench with his eyes closed, feeling the breeze go by, and he's just like smiling and laughing because he's like feeling so good, like in this sea of tranquility that is the universe around us.
Yep.
That sounds pretty cool, you know, like that was kind of what his book is about.
It does sound cool, but is it that? It's like a luxury to even be in that state, right? Like I feel like monks would have had a hard, like a society of monks would have had a hard time existing.
Yeah, monks
in,
need
like,
people to build the palace and feed
like
them.
they're just chilling there, like meditating, and then some tribe rolls in and tries to fight. And like, I don't know. There's probably a bunch of warrior monk tribes who went back and forth between these things, and chat's gonna be like, actually, all these monks are great ninja warriors, and it struck a balance. But oh, by the way, Basil's here. I just noticed.
What's up,
I
Basil?
know.
Basil?
The prodigal daughter has returned.
Wow.
Missed you in Denver.
There's been some chatter about like obviously suffering isn't inherently good, and there are limits to like we don't want to suffer as like an inherent good, right? There's a balance. Like we
don't want to
How do you think
suffer.
about the balance?
We
though?
need to suffer.
A little bit,
Today, a video that went quite viral on the Twitters is from the CEO of NVIDIA, directly correlated to what we're talking
Jensen.
about here, right?
He's so rich, he's just putting out Buddhist content now.
Well, look, Eckhart Tolle, the thing about Eckhart Tolle is that he's espousing ideas that are very Eastern-centric. So like anything you're going to hear from Eckhart is going to be of an Eastern sort of way of thinking.
Is he the Power of Now guy?
Power of Now and New Earth and others, but those are the big two. And I've read both of them, and they were life-changing books. You know, absolutely life-changing books. Highly recommend. However, like that lifestyle that he's espousing is very difficult to pull off in the Western world. And also, not to say that he doesn't have any suffering, right? He agrees that suffering is a foundational part of existence, just like the Buddha did. And like, if you're going to go around the world being like a spiritual teacher, you are suffering. You're getting bashed. You're on tours. You're writing books. You're working your ass off. You're doing talks and keynotes. Like, he's not suffering. He's not sitting by a stream all day long. Although he has the moments where he's taught himself to sit outside and bask in the sun and be able to enjoy that. But back to NVIDIA, he talked about the most essential thing being to suffer. And he talked about the idea that he has built it into the culture of NVIDIA, that suffering is a positive, that every time a challenge comes up, and that he talks about how fortunate, he talks about the exact thing that you talked about, Eric, and you both of you, what you said is like, those that grow up without enough suffering or the ability to know when to suffer in different ways. Their lack of suffering is what's hurting them. And so he has brought suffering and indoctrinated that into the company and into his own psyche as a way to grow, and knows that like that's an important integral part of the growth of the company and his own personal growth. And it went so viral today. And I think that's because everyone is fucking suffering. And when people acknowledge that everyone is fighting their own battle, it actually provides a little relief to others when one of the richest people in the world also admits that they suffer. It's human.
Makes me think about your role as a parent, like how much suffering is ideal to allow your child to experience. There's like a Goldilocks zone, I think, where it's like you don't want too much, but you do want enough.
I forget who it was, but like one of the worst things we can do is solve our children's problems for them.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of. It's like, how much do you let them suffer? You don't want them to get hurt, but you don't want to fix it for them either.
Yeah, because you intuitively know that suffering will cause growth. Like you want like optimal level of suffering to grow and change positively, but not so much that they're in therapy 20 years later talking about you.
Yeah, and everyone's met somebody who had all their problems solved for them and then becomes an adult and doesn't know left from right.
Also a bad outcome.
Terrible.
Like, I feel like it's better to err on the side of like too much suffering. Like, if I had a kid, like that's where I would err a little
Yeah.
bit.
I think so too.
I think so. I think if you look at the greats, it leans more toward having suffered.
That's true. That's a good point. Like, there's very few people who've created like incredible art or done like amazing things, and their life was just like, you read their childhood biography, and it was just like, I grew up in a lovely thing, and I played in the garden all day. And
Well, it's
the-
polarity. Robert Downey Jr. just won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. You know what he said when he got up? I think my childhood trauma.
There you
Ooh, deep.
I mean, like, it's motivation. Like, it is that polarity of like he has found a way through. By the way, speaking of the Oscars, I didn't watch it, but last night I
The
realized.
Oscars were last night?
No, well, last night I
I
realized.
have no idea.
2 nights ago.
I think I saw like
It
a
was?
tweet.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, I didn't even know the Oscars happened. So then I was like, oh my God, I really want to know if Cillian Murphy won. Because I fucking love that guy.
For
Oppenheimer?
For Oppenheimer. But more so
Nice.
just because I love Cillian Murphy. He's deserved an Oscar for. If Peaky Blinders was a movie, he would have had an Oscar already. Like, he already hit his peak years ago. And a lot of people think he's like a new actor. You know, I was talking to people today, and I was like, no, this guy's been acting for like 25 years, bro. But he is so loved by people. If you look at the comments on his YouTube video from his acceptance speech,
So he did win.
he won. Spoiler, he won. And the way he won, he got up. The way they did it this year is all of the nominees were presented by former Oscar winners for Best Actor.
Cool.
It was beautiful. So you had like Matthew McConaughey and Nicolas Cage, and
Damn.
it was super cool.
They're all
Like
up
they
there.
all gave a little speech about each nominee. It
Sick.
was really cool. Cillian Murphy gets up, and they've been doing that for all the awards all night. He's the first guy that gets up and shakes every single person's hand and thanks them. Then gets up, gives a beautiful speech. He's obviously honored to be there. The thing people love about Cillian Murphy is he's the opposite of the typical Hollywood
He's not a
person.
celebrity.
He's not a celebrity. But he's in love with his craft. He loves to act, but he doesn't need the shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it all at all. He lives in like his own normal life. He's in a pub in Ireland hanging out with everybody. There's no
I love that.
hoorah.
Makes
There's
me like him
no
so much.
There's no bullshit. There's videos of him on. He's just hanging out, drinking a pint.
That's the
Not
that's the
like Conor
dream.
McGregor, mind you, either. He's not getting into fights.
Yeah.
I think he's an incredible representation of Ireland because I really love the Irish people, and I think that Conor McGregor really fucked that up in a lot of ways. And I think Cillian Murphy really represents the true spirit of the Irish, who I really admire.
So on a previous episode, we gave some credit to Keanu for being this way.
He's exactly that. Yeah.
Just like a cool dude who happens to be also doing this job.
Keanu is such a goat.
so goaty.
He's like so fucking goat.
Wait,
He's
sorry. With the
unbelievable.
Oscars, do they do Best Actress too? Do you know who won that one?
Yeah, Emma Stone.
For
The movie is
I just saw it on my like
Um,
Hulu or something.
yeah.
I forget, but she's
That one.
Yeah, that one. She's great though.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. I think it was like she was like 40%, so it was kind of like a bit of an upset, but it was a good win. She's
Cool.
she's a great actress. But they swept. Oppenheimer swept. Christopher Nolan won his first Oscar, Best Director. Think about
first?
that. Think about
Wait,
that.
that was his
8
first?
nominations.
God, he's
That's
made
like Leo DiCaprio
Okay,
level.
so
Damn.
Christopher
Like
Nolan's
8
problem
nominations,
is he's,
first win.
He's just never made a movie about a gay black trans midget.
wow.
What?
Yeah, because he's
So
always
never been able to win an Oscar.
probably always getting beat by that.
like he's just like making cool movies about stuff blowing up and everything.
Yeah.
And people are just like, was anybody like oppressed in your movie? And he's like,
Oh,
what?
I see what you're saying.
the
yeah.
third one, the third level into the dream should have won for sure. What did they call that
Inception.
movie? Inception should have
Yeah,
won.
it's a great
Inception.
movie.
Interstellar.
Interstellar is my favorite, but I think Inception was.
Inception
yeah, he
was
makes
a
awesome movies
masterpiece.
that like normal people are like, wow, this is really cool. I love this.
It's too smart for most people.
Well, I don't think that's how they give awards out anymore.
I do think that Tenet was too smart for me. I did not understand.
Oh, I still haven't seen
that
it.
Didn't see
movie
it.
sucked.
Can't comment.
Yeah, I actually, it is not his most highly
Yeah.
reviewed movie. It's a little chaotic, I've read.
That's terrible.
Oh, Matt has a good comment in the chat for you. Said Arnold said in his book, if his dad was any harder or less hard on him, he wouldn't be writing that book.
Wow.
Damn, that's it.
Just right.
Wow. And his dad was very hard on him.
I feel like this is like a father-son thing, though, right? Like, I feel like you don't feel the need to be like really hard on your daughter, right?
No.
Right.
My
You feel
God.
like more of a need to, but I feel like if you had a son, I feel like you would be kind of putting the axe to the grindstone a little bit.
Yeah, I think dads are hard on their sons, and some moms are hard on their sons. Yeah.
I feel like moms are
Moms are generally,
they love
I
their
know,
sons.
but
I feel
some
like
moms,
I do feel
some
like
moms are hard on their
kind of hard
sons.
on their daughters, and
They can
dads
be.
are kind of hard
Yeah.
on their sons. Yeah.
Right.
It's
If
the
you
way.
take yeah.
Yeah. No, that resonates.
But yeah, like generally, yeah, you're not gonna have a dad be like kind of.
I actually feel like my parents were the opposite.
Hmm.
My dad was like, "Cool, yeah, whatever you want, man. That's you're great."
Hmm.
And then my mom was like, very like kind of, yeah.
Does that mean hard on you, or
She-
does that mean
yeah,
worried about you?
Hard on me, worried about me.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of
Okay, so you agree
stressful.
a little bit, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like think like Jewish mom son relationship, but with like slightly less like over the top love. You know, more like more anxiety.
Got it.
And my dad was like just kind of cool. He's like, yeah, you're doing great, man. I'm gonna go fish. I'm gonna go on top of the house and shoot this gopher in the fucking garden who keeps like eating all my carrots. Yeah, and
man.
just it's
The
like
old
a-
swamp life, dude.
Yeah, it
He
was-
sounds like a cartoon character.
yeah, it does.
My dad is aside from not being able to operate a cell phone or a computer, but he was really great with a pellet gun from the roof. Could just nail a groundhog between the eyes from like 500 yards away, no problem. Done.
Did you know that Ken did a performance as well at the Oscars?
No.
Ken,
Ryan Gosling
the
did
best
did the
person
song.
in the Barbie movie.
You've seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie.
I'm just
he did his
Ken.
song. Yeah. And he got nominated for that too.
He should. He
and
was,
he
was
got
fabulous.
nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, we talked about this. It was amazing.
Okay.
Like the fact
Yeah.
that Barbie happened and then Ken was the best thing in it was like just it was chef's kiss for me.
Yeah.
Like a whole movie about like just over the top, hit you with like a frying pan, like patriarchy things, but then like Ken is just like actually the best thing in the movie.
Have you guys seen
It's
Dune
amazing.
2 yet?
No,
I haven't
but
seen Dune 1 yet.
everyone
I haven't
in
seen Dune 1 yet.
the Alfalfa
1's
community
good.
that's been watching it has been posting about it and just blown away.
Okay, I want to
saying
watch
it's
this.
better than Dune 1.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm excited for this. I feel like Dune is going to be
I got to see this
like
in
the
theater.
next
Shit.
thing. It's going to be like Star Wars,
Oh,
and there's going to be
no.
like 10 of them or something.
I don't know if they can.
Well, there's a lot of books.
I don't think so, dude.
Well, I just went to go read audiobooks of Dune or listen to audiobooks.
There's
just
literally
to, like,
I
fall
thought
asleep and
only
there's
one original Dune book.
oh well, then maybe there's
Is
like
there a part 2?
maybe there's add-ons
There
because
will be a third movie.
I saw like 9 books like a audiobook.
But there's 9 books?
Yeah, maybe they're all add-ons
I read
or something.
I read Dune. I didn't realize there were more Dune. Are there more Dunes? Is there like Dune 9? The Dunening?
According to what I could audiobook.
Damn.
All right, what's ChatGPT say?
I gotta get
The
back
chat
into that.
saying Dune has more than 10 books.
10 books.
Woo!
Okay, ChatGPT says 6. Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune,
ChatGPT.
Chapter House Dune. 6.
None of those were the ones that came up for me.
28 on Google.
28
28
on Google.
books.
Or 6, 10, or 28. It's cool.
Okay,
It's just-
so
it's the
we
future.
do have a lot
can't
of
tell how
movies
many
ahead
Dune
of
I
us.
books
think
there
like
are.
this is going to be like
Okay.
9 movies coming probably.
This is
Wow.
gonna be like the Avengers.
Yeah, this is
But
the new
Dune.
like Marvel.
But it's
probably.
good, actually.
Yeah.
I've never been a
Number one was
Marvel-
good.
I've never been a
Marvel was good,
too out
and
there
then
for
it
me.
just really,
It tanked.
yeah, it just went off the rails.
Last couple like just
Yeah.
tanked.
I did like a lot of
End
them.
of the universe in every
I
movie.
actually
It's
like
just
that.
like
I like Endgame.
Everything's fucking multiverse now, man.
It's
There's
just
like out of ideas.
multiverse
It's like,
and-
yo, I know Robert Downey Jr. died in that universe, but
He's back.
he's back in another
Yeah.
universe, and you're just like, all right. Like people die, and you're like, no, he's dead. Oh, he's probably just alive in another universe,
just
and you
doesn't
move on with
work.
your life.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't have like the same oomph to you when somebody dies. You're just like, I know they're bringing you back. I know he just died in universe 325, and the next movie he's gonna be back.
yeah.
Yeah, it's lame.
Did you guys see that
It's
Everything
lame.
Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah, I
no,
did.
I didn't actually.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
Was it good?
It was like
Worth
the
a-
multiverse
Yeah,
idea. It was
multiverse
good.
movie.
It's like an okay multiverse.
It's also
then.
like goofy.
It was
and
like
wacky.
a little irreverent.
It's wacky.
Yeah.
The
and
multiverse
fast.
isn't
It's very
inherently
fast-paced.
bad. It's just bad when people use it as like a cheap cop out for like bad writing.
But
Like,
what if you
multiverse.
are in the multiverse
Yeah.
and it's accurate?
That we are in the multiverse and the writing's just bad.
No, but what if the writing works because it's actually accurate? The Robert Downey Jr. does exist in timeline 357.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I think
Doesn't change the fact
like-
that the writing's terrible.
Like, what if it?
Yeah. Still, just make a better movie.
I know,
just make a good movie, man.
I know.
I don't have a problem with the multiverse. Just like don't.
But
like,
we've
be
done
like,
simulation theory. Maybe we need to do multiverse.
Yeah.
That is becoming the prevalent physics viewpoint.
So somewhere
That's the
out
theory?
there is us just having this pod.
And there's like all versions of you that could possibly be. So it's like, I could be.
Like I'm Persian, and then Armand.
What?
I don't think that that's possible.
No, it is possible.
Not
like,
for
we're
you.
The infinite multiverses. Like we're just somewhere out there.
Okay, maybe.
I'm Persian Armand.
You can be whoever you want to be. You can have ripped jeans if you want.
Jimmy, what is this?
There are no universes where I'm wearing those jeans.
Can we watch this?
Wait, is this a Dune clip?
This is
Yeah.
a Dune meme that's going around.
It's gonna be funny, except I haven't seen Dune, so it's not
You
gonna
haven't
resonate.
seen Dune 1 even?
No, I'm
What?
behind. I know.
Oh, come on.
Amber doesn't like watching sci-fi, so I never see it.
It's on HBO right now or something.
All right, I'm playing it.
Good people of Arrakis, it's me, Shia Lude, your beloved sandworm of the desert. Paul Atreides, little Paul Atreides, I call him Pesky Paul. He's no body, people are calling him Risa Nagaib. Pesky Paul's calling himself Muad'Dib. He said, Muad'Dib, I'm a little desert mouse. Just a humble
Oh
little
my
desert mouse.
God.
Very tiny, I saw him. I could crush him easily. Folks, you can't trust Pesky Paul. He's got the Bene Gesserit. Nasty women. Nasty women.
Oh, no.
He's going around the desert. He's going to the south of the southern border. He's bringing up religious fanatics from the south. He's trying to wage a holy war in the whole universe.
I think I got it.
Okay, that was pretty good though.
That's
That's
not bad.
cool.
Trump impressions always work.
Maybe
Yeah.
TikTok's not so bad.
Yeah. Wait, isn't it about to be banned?
I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't been following it closely. We were early to
It
that,
passed through the house.
and then I was
Dude,
just like,
they're
yeah.
trying to. I'm sorry, but like Democrats are trying to ban crypto and TikTok, and they expect to win.
Yeah,
with
come
the
on.
young people.
Come on.
on, come on! What are you doing?
Come
Who's in charge over
on.
there?
Come
Who's in
on.
charge? That's not going to work.
This TikTok ban is not going to go through. I mean,
I don't
mean,
think so.
That's not popular.
it went through the house.
It's
That's
not
pretty crazy
popular.
already.
Nope. Not with the young.
The young. Did they love banning the abortions?
No.
Still
But they-
happens.
I mean, you
Still
think
happen.
that'll,
Things happen.
yeah.
Things happen.
Things
Yeah.
happen.
People just do shit, and then you deal with it. You know, you're like, oh, all right. Stanley Cups are banned now. All right.
I'm just.
Can't drink wine out of a steel tumbler anymore.
Yeah, you're just sucking on lead over there.
I love that I can basically fit an entire bottle in this baby now. I don't have to reload.
Yeah, you did.
It's empty though.
You emptied her
I've
out.
reached the bottom of my cup.
I think we've reached the bottom of this.
I think we have
episode.
too. It's 7:01. It's a smooth
It's
2
perfect
hours.
time.
Nice.
Perfect
Yeah,
time.
we went on a little journey there, but
Yeah,
it was
it was good.
It was great.
See, you got to let loose at the end. You know, lose the agenda a bit. See what happens. Talk to the chat. get called names by Bankless. Very insulting. Very
Oh
insulting.
wow, yeah, we need an NFT for that. We should just make that the NFT.
That should be an
actually.
NFT.
That's the NFT.
Wait, no, because then I have to do something with that NFT.
That should be like a
I don't
secret
want anything to
underground
do with
NFT. Actually,
Yeah, that should be.
That should be like only like 50 available.
we should just mint that and give it to like a few of the cool kids. Just be like, there you go.
Down. Remember
Anyway.
that time Bankless said really insulting things in
ruthless.
our chat?
Anyway, I had a
I
great.
loved it.
Do you want to do the outro?
No, you do.
All right, I'll do the outro. Anyway, I had a great time tonight. That was a journey. We talked about shitcoins and Seneca and Zin
Yeah.
and whatever Armand did to get those holes in his jeans and just everything in between. A great time with you all. We had a large audience in the chat tonight. I think we hit all-time
Thank you for
highs
coming. Thank
in the
you for
chat
coming.
tonight from what I saw. So thank you guys for showing up, supporting us and having a good time. If you are listening to this on recording, we do this live on YouTube Wednesday nights, 5 Pacific time. Come join us sometime. Come vibe in the chat. We have a great time. And if you're not already listening to Irresponsibly Long with me and Eric, we do that Thursdays at 5 p.m. We're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow, I think, or yesterday if you're getting this on the recorded feed. But you will also be able to get that on the recorded feed. So it's going to be a good time. See you all there. All links at alfalfapod.com. Join the Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Send Armand a love note in the mail. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, we just made people sit through a minute of Donald Trump impression and they had no audio.
Oh,
So-
well, that's pretty on brand for us. I don't know why that happened.
Sorry about that.
People are like, there's just a worm
Like,
going like,
why are they just sitting in silence and giggling? Fuck, that part of the podcast.
you know, that's just part of the charm of this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, like we just don't know how to do
We'll
things.
get there.
We buy coins. That's all. Anyway, thank
Love
you,
you
everybody.
guys.
Love you. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next week.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.